What's going on, guys?
Wow.
You're now tuning in to ShotBet. We got the man, the myth, the legend.
We got I9.
You know what's funny? I told you right before. I was like, something's gonna pop up, and we're gonna freaking look like an idiot.
I'm here to call out all your bullshit tonight. I'm like, right off the bat,
I'm
I9.
I'm gonna fuck up. But
hey, we're your guest with the craziest hair, so we're good.
We're good. That's so funny.
It's all good. No worries.
So
you are mistakes. It
will eventually come back up, and you will be the right person. So the man, the myth, not I9. We have Brian Bean. How you doing?
With no name.
No name.
I love it. no.
It will come up. It will come up when we come back. So for those of you tuning in, here I got you. For those of you tuning in right now, ShotBet is a different kind of interview podcast where your interactions directly influence. There you go. See, it's popping up now for you.
Oh, that's so cool.
Your interactions directly affect our conversation. So every like, every love will cause us to drink. It's every unique like, every unique love. So if you want us to drink, share it to your friends, get them to like it, and get him drunk. Right now, I'm pretty sure I'm 3-3 on winning. And my guests have been 3-3.
Wait, how do you win?
You just get the most.
The likes.
Yeah, that's how I
was
feel.
Gonna say, I think Mike Wing already won.
Mike Wing
to get drunk. Mike Wing won.
Mike Wing is an all-time champion.
Because it's not a matter of what you drink. It's a matter of how strong it is and how fucked
Absolutely.
up you get. And if you end up on the floor here.
if you end up sleeping, it's so funny because I'm gonna eventually post like some behind the scenes stuff. But there's a clip during the podcast where I'm talking to Mike Wing where we talk about just drinking, and he said, if we get 100 likes, we'll do a shot. 200, we'll take a shot. I was like, oh shit, like we're gonna have to we're gonna be blackout. We're gonna go missing. And I was like, we're gonna go out and go do stuff. We're gonna be shit faced. Like we're not going anywhere. We're sleeping right here under the table. And it was like an hour and a half.
That?
He said that in the podcast. So it just I was just like cracking up. I was like, no, fucking foreshadow.
He didn't sleep right there, though. We had to move him over to the bed.
Shift him over and then shift him to the bed.
You were like, yo, I think we should just leave him here. And I was like, I really don't think we should. He was like sleeping on a pole.
I know. I was like, well, because me, like, if someone wakes me up when I'm like blackout, drunk, passed out, that waking me up puts me in a, like I'm freaking dizzy. I'm a tornado. I'm gonna get sick. I'm gonna puke. So that's me. So if you see me pass out on the floor, just step over me.
Yeah, but
like
Mike Wing is like no other.
Mike Wing, like he was just like, hey guys. I was like, oh no. But tonight's not about Mike Wing. Tonight's about you.
It's about you and your show.
You've owned your own clothing brand lifestyle called The Talent, and you opened up your own storefront over in Hudson, Eastwood Screen Printing, and you also have hosted one of the biggest Halloween parties ever to happen in New Hampshire.
My biggest accomplishment.
I stacked them that way.
Yeah,
Halloween
right?
was the top of the list.
Yeah.
But feel free to introduce yourself to the people that don't know you.
What he said. No, my name is Brian Bean. Now going as Taurusbread. Like, I guess. I mean, we'll just roll with it. Yeah, I'm going as like Taurusbread now, which is like kind of like my art name or whatever. Oh shit, he's like changing shit.
Nope, it's fine. It's fine. We're good.
Yeah.
We're back.
As I was just like talking to other people about this, I'm like, the worst thing is like I hate talking about myself, so it's just like.
And I've found that, and I don't know if it's just because I'm a terrible host, but have the floor, tell them what you want to market, and then all of a sudden they're like, I've never introduced myself beyond just like a formal handshake.
No, because I think that's like comes down to like kind of like my. Oh, are we cracking already?
Of course.
Oh, okay, perfect.
I'm just making my drink.
I'm
just
like itching. I'm like, dude, I just need a beer just to like cool myself off, just to have. No.
Especially with the frickin' snow that we just got.
Dude, I don't want to talk about it.
You're not a snow guy at all?
Dude, I hate the snow.
Okay. Yeah.
I hate the snow. I feel like the mailman on Hey Arnold. That's how I feel every single day. I'm like, I hate the snow. I hate the snow. His little jingle. I just like think about that every single day. Then he falls in the snowbank. No, but I think one of the reasons why like I don't really like care about talking about myself is because it's like not part of like my origins at all. Like I've never done things to get noticed. That was never my intention.
Yeah.
I've always just like worked on just garnering my own crowd that like agreed with my ideas or anything like that. It was never like, oh, we're putting this out or we're doing this particular thing to get like the most amount of success and like what reaches like the most amount of audience.
Yeah.
Like obviously whatever the higher the pedestal is that you can show people what you've worked on is obviously better, but like that's not really my goal. I'm not like trying to reach the most people. I'm just trying to have like the people that have like always supported me with the talent and everything are just like they're like friends of mine. Yeah. They're not like no name people that just like go in my store or whatever and just buy things. Like I don't like that. So like when people like ask me like, "Oh, talk about yourself," I'm not going to be like, "Well, JB, let me tell you, you know, I am a young entrepreneur that has started many companies, and let me tell you, it hasn't been easy. The world has been against me." I'm not going to go off on like that because like it just makes me feel like that's like I don't know. Nah,
it leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah, I just like to create. That's it. Like I don't even look at it as anything else like that. Like because like I always like start these like harebrained schemes to just like. I'm just like, oh, I get. It's like you know, it's like playing with Legos as a kid. It's just like anything that you're like, I'm gonna make a helicopter today. You know, you just get into that zone where that's what you're gonna do. I don't necessarily go like, oh, this is my long-term success. I could go get a loan at a bank with this presentation. No, it's just like have fun, create, and if people want to come along for the ride, that's awesome.
That's dope.
So I think that's a better way to.
Well, I think that was a good introduction, but I think we're slacking. I got 5 drinks, you got 6, so let's do a nice healthy. You want to go by the second rule, I guess, and you just.
Wait, the second rule?
We just drink a drink per second just to start it off.
Oh, sure. Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Oh, jeez.
Oh, I wasn't counting. I was second counting.
I was like, whoops. So, I gave a little bit of an intro of the show, but one thing I did miss out is ShotBet. Whoever gets the most reactions, so I'm likes, he's loves, obviously by where they are. Whoever gets the most at the end of the podcast has to take a shot. Shout outs to our sound girl and community manager for hooking this up, and my girlfriend who's been supportive since day one. So, so what we're gonna do is, so whoever gets the most has to take a shot at the end. So this is ShotBet.
Okay.
All right, let's do this. So every episode, I like to start with a cringe clip, but I have 2 preloaded. I want to let you pick. So there's either a rap song about swallowing kids, or like sexually swallowing kids, or a vampire couple.
This has been fun.
Or a vampire couple that drinks each other's bloods.
Okay, word. Let's do it.
That one?
Dude, I don't know. Just flip a coin, do your thing.
Let's do it. All right, well, this is...
Curiously, there are self-described vampires still living in the world today. And they're not rampaging through the Carpathian Mountains in Eastern Europe. They live in Slough.
Fuck, I'm
to
dressed
the west
like these
London.
fucks.
This is you right now.
God damn it.
Leah Benninghoff.
And the thing that
vampires everywhere. Vampires can be doctors, nurses, solicitors, bank managers, mechanics.
Which is so funny.
Screen printers.
Out of New Hampshire. So the thing about this couple, and it's
when I first saw
so
that
they
he
show
was
the
a
later will
vampire,
show a clip. I don't know how far we'll end up watching this because I think it's a pretty long
didn't
clip.
know there was
But they end
such
up
a
having
proper
dinner
real
and sitting
vampires
across
out there.
from
I've
each other,
always hoped
and
there
they every
was.
night they
And to
drink
finally
a
meet
cup of
one
each
was
other's blood
actually
with
very
their dinner,
interesting to
and then
finally
sometimes
get
they'll
to
drink
know what
pig's
it
blood.
really is and everything.
Is it pig's blood
lifestyles
total?
like
They don't drink each other's
everything
blood.
like that.
I thought they said they sometimes they drink. Okay.
There is that
Jeez.
whole erotic sense of
So sometimes they drink each other's blood, and then
that
mostly they
kind of
drink
intimate
pig's blood
connection
and like
to
raw
it.
meat and
But
everything.
really,
And it's
there's
just
no
I don't know.
benefit from it.
It's a weird
It
little
basically
thing.
goes through your body and then it's expelled. There's no actual health benefit to it, and actually it can be dangerous if you're taking high levels of blood into your system because you could
My doctor
overdose
keeps
on
telling me
iron.
that.
You don't believe-
I mean, obviously,
I'm like,
that's
I don't
a
know,
necessary
man.
medical procedure. There is a benefit to that, but that's a completely separate issue than drinking blood.
Leah says that she can remember the exact moment that Arrow turned her into a vampire. And she drank
This
human
bothers
blood
me so
for the
much.
first time.
Just think about this with a straight face. They're sitting. They're probably watching.
Look at this.
He
I can't
turned
handle
me into
this.
a vampire.
Do you think they
It
sit
had to be at
around
night
and
at
watch
3
Friends
a.m.
while
in the
drinking
morning,
blood
the
and paint each
witching
other's
hour.
nails? Because like I'm like trying to imagine that.
Just like the giant contrast.
He drank my blood, and then I drank his blood. Like a sort of a cycle feed.
That
The
just
vampire culture has people we call.
Oh, that's
classes
misleading.
donors,
That's not what they
who are
look like.
people
That looks way cooler.
feed from them.
this is more you.
So,
Nope.
like I said, there are
No,
some
he's way cooler,
people
dude.
out there who would try and
so
take
weird.
it by force.
What I want to know is if there's people
Most of
who
us
do the
believe
exact same
in,
thing, but like with pirates.
respecting other people's
Like
wishes.
every other,
not like
like,
Somali,
We don't do
Somali
anything.
yeah.
pirates or whatever.
Or,
Not those guys. I'm not the guys who have like
even for
AK-47s and
whether
stuff. I'm
it's
talking about like
benefit
guys who
or
still
anything
like
else.
show up
Eye
in the
patch and
harbor
one-
and like and people are like, oh,
Stump of a
these
leg.
fucking cosplayers that take it too far.
Oh, there it is. See, like I said, I
the
talked
volume?
about it and then it happened again. So yeah, it's just weird. I don't know. Like I get. Sometimes I get it. Sometimes I don't. I don't know. Are you like? So you deal a lot with art and like your artistic integrity and like like we'll show your paintings pretty soon and you have a reoccurring theme. Are you like a fan of people expressing them that way and like identifying themselves as a vampire? I guess is that something that
I mean, I don't want to give like the most blasé answer.
Yeah,
but, like,
yeah.
I'm a fan of pretty much like whatever the fuck you want to do as long as you're not hurting anyone.
Okay.
Like I'm all for just your entire freedom. Like no matter what you want to do.
Yeah.
Like.
So once you heard that there was no like bad health, like there was no health benefits, but there was nothing that like affected them negatively, you're like, okay, that's fine.
I just think it's like weird because like, you see those people who like eat drywall, like on those like weird habits, like, and it's like, motherfucker, if you're gonna eat drywall, how are you gonna and like just allow that to happen? Like they try to intervene, like they actually care, but if you're gonna, like, yeah, I mean, you're supplying a market to Home Depot. You're buying like a pack of sheetrock once a month, and you're like, what are you doing with all this? And you're like, building a shed. But like, I mean, like, just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to drink pig's blood, do your thing. I mean, like the dressing, I think that's cool.
Yeah,
always, like,
yeah.
Like if you're asking
More
like about
gothic.
like the dark stuff, like I've always been a fan of that because like I just think I always relate it to like the Johnny Cash song, like Man Dressed in Black.
Okay.
Do you know what that
Yeah.
song's about?
Yeah.
Like the whole idea of just like that everybody's like has like their own darkness around them and like everybody tries to like lead forward to like a bright future and everything. While we should, we have to remember everything that's also bad in the world. And
Yeah.
like I think like a lot of people like dress in like dark ways because like not necessarily that they're romanticizing the darkness that exists, but it's just like it's light and dark, yin and
Yeah.
yang. Everything exists. So
Yeah.
like I think if somebody wants
So
to
I
dress dark,
shade
and-
one and then
I mean, but the thing is like, and like I dress like the same way. Like I have like a fucking Reaper on my back and everything, and like I dress in glare and everything. And like I was victim of bullying, but I'm not playing like the victim thing. You know, I was like, yo, listen, I chose to wear tight girl pants to school. I'm like, I have it coming to me. If somebody wants to, it's like you get tough or die. So you have to fight back. And it's like, I don't appreciate when people like choose to dress a certain way and then like constantly complain
and then get upset about the criticism.
and it's
or
like, yeah, bullying sucks. It
Yeah.
sucks across the board. But like the thing is like, are you in it to win it? Because
Yeah.
like if you want to dress like this, you got to become tough.
Yeah, you have to. But yeah, you have to
I'm not
commit all
saying
the
I'm-
way. You have to commit all the way. You
I'm
can't
not
just,
saying I'm tough. I just said I didn't cry about it.
Yeah,
I just
you have to commit to it. So you can't go all the way.
And if they're gonna
adapt
drink
a certain
pig's blood, then
character.
they're committed.
Yeah,
they're committed
absolutely.
to it. They're like, hell yeah, like fuck you guys. You guys want to make a mockery documentary about us, like, and make us look like crazy and use like stock footage of some vampire going like, like. Make us look like fucking creepy. It's like, dude, they're just living their lives. Like I said, they're probably watching Friends relating to Phoebe.
they're probably dressing it up too. So it's like, wear your blackest outfit and then kind of show off for the camera.
And like one of like the weird things that like exists with like humanity is like people who say, oh, we shouldn't judge one another. It's like, no, of course we should, because like half the fun of living is being able to judge one another, good or bad. It's like I think that like as long as you're not like telling people to go kill themselves or anything like that, like
yeah, there's a line. There's
yeah,
definitely
like
a line.
but like, you know, if I'm gonna, like I was doing earlier with my hair, like my whole thing is I'm like yo, this is funny, right? This is hilarious because it looks weird and different, and whoever would wear their hair like that is ridiculous, but I would wear my hair like this, and I do it all the time at the bars.
Yeah.
And it's just like one of those things that like I think like judgment is kind of part of fun of it. Like I think anybody who dresses like really strangely or does things, like there's a weird relationship that you have with it where you're kind of like, I kind of like being judged in like a weird way, because like I like
well, it's because you've been
in.
it's because you've been noticed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it totally is. It's just like it's like your soapbox.
Yeah, like otherwise people wouldn't. You'd blend in.
I know. I like look at the Misfits and everything, like the Misfits and like that whole like horror culture and everything. It totally was out of shock. You know what I mean?
You got 3, by the way. I think people are going to cry if you don't go for it.
I'm just going to finish it.
It's okay. You finishing it versus like a tequila drink finishing it is 2 different stories. So I want to go, and feel free to like punch in if you want, but I want to kind of like work my way from the beginning. And obviously when I met you, the talent was a big part of your life. And let me know, talk about
I actually sold like my first shirt at like a merch table at your show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was
that my birthday show.
San Jose Cafe or whatever it was. What was it? It was like
Imago de Cafe or whatever.
Imago de Cafe, yeah, I remember that.
So, take us back to where the talent came from, the origins of the name, the origins of the company, and what inspired you to start that, and maybe even backtrack a couple steps behind to like lead into it, because I'm sure the talent wasn't the start of the talent.
So like back when I was like I said, I always was like kind of like into like the strangeness and everything like that, and like growing up, like Bam Margera, watching him on like MTV, like when I saw like Viva La Bam and like all of those things, like I love that like whole like cult of like personality type like aura around him, and like just like the craziness and the darkness, and I'm like yo, because like I was always like tight with my friends and like everything, and like we just always did stupid shit, and so like I related to that a lot, and then like I became friends with Rob, who I'm sure you're gonna have on this show at some point
eventually.
Rob O'Neill, the singer of like the Doldrums. He became like my best friend like in 5th grade, and when we started hanging out, like Rob was kind of like my because I didn't fit in at all. Like I never fit in, and I never wanted to. Like I didn't have any friends before then. I only hung out with some kid who just like used to beat me up, and I used to like he lived like right down the street from me by the pond, and I would go to his house, and like he would just like beat me up. He would accuse me of like stealing his Pokemon cards and stuff, and he would always do like that thing, like, and like I would always just be like fucking terrified, and maybe like he just made me like I was just like I like this resentment. No. But then like I became friends with Rob, and like I used to like wear like sweatpants and Velcro shoes, and I was like I don't care, like I could give a fuck, like you know what I mean, like it just wasn't cool, but I didn't give a fuck. I would bring Pokemon cards to school and stuff in 5th grade. I didn't give a shit. And I met Rob, and then Rob was like telling me, he's like, dude, he's like if you want girls to like you got to stop wearing whitey tighties, and you got to stop wearing sweatpants and Velcro shoes. You got to stop doing that. So like he was like, because of his older sister, like he was like super into hip hop and everything like that. So he was like, you got to get the Fat Farms. And like
the Sean Johns,
no, but like it's funny because
the
like
South Pole.
People think I'm like shitting on Rob when I like tell that story, but like to be honest, like he was the only one that ever like looked out for me. Like I said, my friend before me would threaten me.
You would,
you know, all the time for like things that I never did. And Rob never did that to me. He was only ever trying to help me. He's like, yo, I don't want that shit for you. And like, you know, we're young kids, so you're kind of like conspiring together. On, You're like, how am I going to be able to dance with that girl at the dance and everything? You know, like how can I get her to notice me and everything? So you go through all those motions, and this is like where it all leads up to, because there eventually kind of became a point where I wasn't necessarily like afraid of like Rob's perception, but like I definitely cared about his opinion, and I got into skateboarding, and that was like pretty much all over there. But I was hiding skateboarding, like it was like Playboy magazines for my mom, which is really funny because I got a whole room full of Playboy magazines right now. It's so funny. I was like, my mom was like giving my friend like some advice like on a relationship or whatever, and then I was like, Mom, you haven't had to give me advice in like 4 years, and I got a room full of Playboys to prove it. It was so fucking stupid, but that's just like my form of like what I find funny. But anyways, like I was like hiding from Rob like the things that I found cool, and I was like hanging out with my other friend from another town. Like it felt like I was like cheating on Rob like as a friend. Because I was like, no, you're like my best friend in my hometown, but like my one growing up. But he got me into skateboarding and gave me his skateboard, and I was like skateboarding out in the driveway. And then like I still do this kind of like today, where I kind of like when I show Rob something, I don't go, Rob, here's this, tell me what you think of it. I don't do that. I always kind of like if it's a new artist, I'll just put it on until he goes, who's this?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
lead him into it.
So like I borrowed like Tony Hawk's Pro Skateboarder from my friend. We were playing it, and I was like, this is a pretty fun game, right? And he goes, yeah, no, it is. And I was like, do you want to know more about skateboarding? And he's like, yeah. And then like as I was like telling him like all my favorite pros, I remember we were looking through like the manual and everything. Like I came with the game and it listed all the pro skateboarders. I was like, this one's like my favorite. His name's Bam Margera. He's like the fucking coolest. He has a TV show on MTV. And I was like telling him all this stuff. Like, oh, I was geeking out. Like,
yeah.
It felt like I had like Pokemon cards again.
Opened up the flood doors. To,
because I had
get
like
into it.
I had like a weird obsessive personality. So I was like, dude, I love this stuff. And then he's like, no, dude, skateboarding's cool. And I was like, you should get a skateboard. We should start skateboarding. We should start doing that. So then we started doing that, and then that led to having hometown skate teams with all my friends that I would always like come up with the names of them. Because like, again, it was just like my weird, I wanted to have like control over the thing that like a team.
Yeah.
Because everybody else had their sports teams and everything, and I played baseball, I hated it. I played basketball, I hated it. I hated all that. And I was like, they get to have their teams. Why don't we get to have ours? Mm-hmm. So I'd always like create these skate teams. We had Vane skate team, Yachty skate team, Local Bread skate team. We had Suspect. We had like all these ridiculous names. We'd put up like there's some videos that are still on YouTube and everything that are just like from that era. And but so we started, Vane skate team was like the big one. All my binders, like I still have like a bunch of them, like artwork that I did for it and like everything like that. And it's actually funny because like my dad, and this leads into like the whole screen printing thing. My dad had a friend who owned a screen printing press.
Yep.
And my dad was like, he can make you shirts for your skate team if you wanted. You just got to design them and I'll give them to him. So me and Rob spent like one whole night, like all the way up until like the sun came up, and we were just drawing these shirts, and I was obsessing over it. Rob was just like, I like this one that just says Veins on it. And I was like, no, that is dope. And honestly, his idea was way better. But I was like, no, dude, you don't even understand. We're going to create cartoon characters for everybody. I'm like, you're going to be an oven mitt. I'm going to be a giant nose. Matt's going to be a worm. And like I created like all these characters for like all. I think Matt actually created his own. He definitely did.
Afterwards,
Yeah, that's like where that all started with like that obsession and just. I don't know, like just like that weird, like I can't really explain it, but there's just like something that happens to me, like when I just like start getting on an idea of just like creation. I'm just like, I just want to see this through all the things that we can make for it.
You put and
I just feel like everybody else has that in them, but I start realizing that like as I've gotten older and just made it all these ridiculous decisions that I'm like, I don't think everybody has this, and I don't even know if it's a blessing. I think it might be a curse.
Might be a curse.
I don't even know why I geek out about it, but I just do. I just love that whole like creation and just like the squad all dressed up and like matching uniforms.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like the coolest thing to me, and that's coming from somebody who doesn't even really like sports. So I don't get it, but it creates like a brand. You know what I mean? Like it's you. I think it comes down to like, for instance, when I do my shows and I do my music, it's cool to see people come together, and I think that's the main thing. So like you might have like the whole Misfits type of clique in like high school, and then all of a sudden they're all coming together in under one name. You know what I mean? Just like a sports. No. So like even though it's not technically like a sports team where it's like, you know, the school's football team and they're all friends together, it's their own little brand that's like, or a name or clique that all comes together and just becomes it's your friend group. That's what it comes down to. It's
and real quick before you pop in, I want to just talk to the audience real quick. For those of you tuning in, feel free to ask us questions. We have a community manager like behind the scenes. She's going to try to relay your questions to us. So feel free to ask me or Brian a question at any point, and go ahead, continue. Yeah.
And I mean, like it's starting to wrap up now because now it gets into like the clusterfuck of everything. But that was kind of like the origins of how it started, and I think like I'm trying to like kind of like convey the next part. I guess like so like in 6th grade, that's when we got really into skateboarding, and like that's when I ended up breaking my arm, and like we were like full committed. Rob was on crutches every day. I broke my arm. I missed like 6 months of school.
Jesus.
And it was all in the name of skateboarding. And like we just like I don't know, we survived by that like whole like brothership type thing. Guys. And you know, like on my cast, I had like Veins written on it. It was just something that we believed in so much, but we never actually got shirts made or anything like that. We just loved it. We would spray paint skateboard decks and like make them, and then you can start seeing the lines connect of like where I am today. And so Veins eventually died out. And I remember sitting at the lunch table. We were in like 8th grade, and I was like, guys, I think Veins has to end. And they're like, why? And I was like, because I got a new idea. what about Yahtzee? Yahtzee skateboards, think about it. And I was like, and then like we changed it like 15 times, like in 8th grade alone, like the name of it and everything. And it just got out of hand. And then by the time we got into high school, all the other things like pushed it aside.
Yeah.
Like
now, do you feel like you're one of those people that once you're inspired, you just run with it and kind of leave everything else in the dust? Because that's what it kind of seems with like the new name and new direction with things. Is that how you feel you trend with like your companies and brands and marketing, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, this just sounds like awful, and I hate saying it, but I only listen to myself. I only do.
Yeah, when that little guy's talking
I don't
to you,
actually like that because, like, I feel like with the way everything kind of went, I feel like people were like, dude, you got us to believe in this whole thing, and now you're just not.
Yeah, you're out of it.
I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, this is who I've been my whole life. Like, 5 years is the average life of, like, something I create.
Yeah.
And I just like to move on to the next because I think life is, like, incredibly too short, and I just like to create.
Yeah.
I like to make something. And once it's made, it becomes...
It's made.
Yeah, it becomes, like, its own thing. And I'm like, it's no longer mine.
Yeah.
It's everybody else's.
Yeah.
Everybody else has the attachment to it, not me. And I'm not saying people are super attached to it, but you get what I'm saying. Like,
well, I definitely do because obviously, like, I've been doing music forever, and then all of a sudden I jumped on the podcast bandwagon, and now I'm doing this, and this is one thing that I'm investing time into week and week again, and music is taking kind of a back burner to it because this is what I'm invested in. So this is the thing that I want to do, and I feel like me and you are very similar, where we want to bring something to the public and to people that are looking to connect like together, because when I started the podcast, I felt there was a drought for entertainment, locally. I mean, that's why your Halloween show prospered and then my JB show prospered, is because everyone out here in New Hampshire is looking for something to do. They're looking to come together, and people are not. You know what pisses me off? I'm gonna rant a little bit. What pisses me off is like the reason why our shows do so well and like our big bashes do well is because people are itching to hang out with each other and they miss each other. And now we're older. People have kids. They have fucking like plus ones. They're busy doing their thing. Their job sucks. Whatever. But it's like, fuck, man. We miss hanging out with each other. We miss the good old days where we're all coming together, hanging out, going to a house party, whatever. People are so like, you need that social interaction, and all we do is bring that avenue for someone, and then they jump on it like fucking flies to a piece of shit. Like people are so excited to reconnect with everyone, and it's funny that that's so foreign in New Hampshire, and people would rather complain about the climate of like social interaction in New Hampshire compared to like a city environment. It's like there's people dying to go hang out with people. That's the reason why I mean, some bars die and some bars are like going crazy, but it's like people are waiting for that moment to reconnect with everyone, and it's only about providing like an outlet for that. And and it goes back to when you were doing your brand and your group and like doing Veins and then Yahtzee. It's like people are looking for that connection, and I think me and you understand that, and understand that New Hampshire, they complain too much rather than realizing that there is a spot for that. There is a spot to reconnect. It's just someone's got to give it to them.
I think one of the biggest interesting things is that, like you just said, is that whenever something ends that you create, whenever something ends, people are sad.
Yeah.
Which means it connected with people.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah, absolutely.
So like whenever I stop doing something, people go, oh, really? Is that the end? And I'm like, it might be the end, it might not be, but it's all up to me. But put it this way. I'm like, the 1 year I didn't have Halloween, I had so many people upset about that. They were like, oh, you didn't do it. Oh, my God. And, like, I get it. And it's because I created something bigger than me. It was never about me.
Yeah.
I gave everybody else a great night. And that's what I wanted. And, but I was, like, telling this to Rob as he was planning the last Halloween, because that was mostly planned by him. Okay. I told him, I was like, dude, you aren't creating the night. This isn't you. Yeah. The people create the night. Yeah. It's up to them. I'm like, I hate to do like the old thing, but it's like, if you build it, they will come. Yeah. It's so like, true. You just build it and then you let them flesh it out. Yeah. That's always how you have to tackle every brand. Like everything that you build, it's not about you. It's about what you can structure and then let the other people fill it out.
Yeah,
and if
absolutely.
other people don't fill it out, you have a bad product. You have a bad idea.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It just needs to be revised.
Yeah, it just-
one little thing, and it could all be different. Because if I just had that Hall of Bean, the first one, inside the house, would nowhere near be as successful as it was.
Absolutely not.
Because I had it in the woods, I gave people a better structure to fill out the party.
And make their own party.
And it wasn't the costume party. It wasn't the idea of having a party. It wasn't the wrong weekend. It wasn't any of that. But I feel like people get all hung up on the arbitrary like bullshit of like little things. They're like, oh, I just feel like the mics or the sound wasn't right. It's like, no, it's not that. I'm like, you have to build the arc correctly for people to want to float in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it's just how it works.
Well, because the sound could fail, and then you could still have a crazy night because people are dancing just to dance. Or like you could have terrible. I've had a party where like on my I think it was my high school graduation, like the weather was supposed to be bad and it ended up raining, and we ended up having a dance party in the rain, and people stayed for hours just to have a good it wasn't like a heavy rain, it was a light rain, but it's like the environment casted them to kind of stay together, and people were like, I'm having a fucking good time. Like that's what it is. You're totally correct. You need to just build an arc and then let the people. It's just like memes or like things that are trending. You can't force that on people. That shit happens naturally.
Yeah, you can't tell people that things are funny or entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to let people find that out, and then they create their own inside jokes.
Exactly.
It's like one of the biggest like rules of like dating. If you go on a date with a girl and by the end of the date you don't have an inside joke or something that you could just bring up and text each other, the one-liners, just be like car salesman. If you can't just say like one random word and text her and have her crack a smile, then chances are you didn't have a connection.
Yeah.
It's like when people relate to each other on like a very primal level, there's little things that just connect, and then you have a great environment where everybody just has a great time. And like just understanding how basic we all are. Like I said in the beginning, like the whole like bullying thing and everything. It's like, no, we're always going to judge each other. And it's part of the things of being a beautiful human being. It's the reasons why you can look at a painting on the wall and say that's beautiful, or you can look at something and say that's a piece of crap. Yeah. It's because we have the ability to judge things, and it never underestimates people willing to judge things.
Yeah.
Where people are good.
Yeah.
People are good. There's some shitty ones out there, but they don't dictate the future. Only the good do.
Yeah.
And like everybody knows that. Bullies don't last. I've met my bullies multiple times, like kids who used to just give me the hardest time and make fun of me. I've met them in bars, and they're like, dude, the talent's so awesome, like that's so fucking cool. And I'm like, thanks, man, but like, how you doing? Like, how's life and everything? Like, you know, I'm not gonna hold a grudge, and I'm not saying that like I won them over.
Yeah.
It was just something that like, hey, when push comes to shove, we're all humans. I don't have a vendetta against you, and like I don't think you do either. You know, you were just acting judgy that day.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna hold that against you because that's stupid. If somebody
Some
says
people
like
have shitty days,
your
too.
hat looks horrible, you're gonna really hold that against them
Yeah.
for like the rest of their lives? That's stupid.
Yeah.
Unless somebody directly hurts you or something, then holding grudges is just whack. Let people change, let people grow, let them know that they hurt you, and then just move on.
And it's all about perspective too, because I remember like in high school I have like. Or middle school, I remember one situation specifically, and it bothered me for years and years. And then I look back and I'm like, who gives a fucking shit? Like, we're like, like that's middle school. That was like, you know, over a decade ago, at least for me. And I remember the kid, so like, embarrassing, but I don't really care. So in middle school, like my go-to was gelling and spiking my hair.
That's fucking
and then
sick, dude.
wearing Hawaiian shirts.
I wish I did that.
So spiking my hair, which like
dude,
was just
literally,
like
I went to school with some kid who always wore a Hawaiian shirt and fucking cargo pants and like goulashes.
Yo, you might have went to school with me.
Honestly, no, but honestly, I saw a picture of him the other day, like in like yearbook or whatever. I'm like, yo, that's literally how everybody dresses now. This kid was like way before, but he used to get picked on by everyone. Be like, dude, what are you wearing?
And
like,
and I remember.
I was like, girls are wearing that to Coachella now.
And I remember the kid like he turned to his friends and he's like, look at me, I'm Justin Bergeron, and just fucking like spiked up his hair. And I was like, I've never said a word to this kid. I've never met this kid, and he's like bashing me
you know he was actually doing, right?
because I'm an easy target. Well, what?
He was actually doing it. He was just like, look, I'm JB. And then everybody was like, yeah, it actually looks pretty cool. Then he'd be like, I know, right? JB's the man.
Oh, no, trust me. I was not cool. I got no brownie points. People were like, yeah, he's a fucking, like, I don't, he's a loser.
I mean, hey, man, I brought my, like, Thomas the Train lunchbox, like, all the way up to, like, 4th grade. Like, I'm not even joking.
Fine.
I remember, in, like, 5th grade, I had a Teletubby. I never even watched that stupid show. I got it in a cereal box, and I thought it was cool. I was just, like, a little plush toy, and I just fucking hung it on my backpack. And I remember I was on the bus with the 8th graders, but I was in like 5th grade or whatever, and the bus driver was like, did anybody lose like a little Teletubby? And I was like, that's mine. And then she was like, everybody was like, nice Teletubby. And I was like, thanks, man. I got it out of a cereal box. I can get you one if you want.
Before sarcasm.
My parents buy the big Frosted Flakes box.
I got you. In a month, I'll have this whole school bus ready to go.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, I didn't care. Like, I mean, obviously that shit hurt a little bit when you were younger because you were young and defenseless. You were learning.
Yeah.
But, like, without those kids saying things like that to me, I wouldn't have learned how to accept it. And, like, I've gotten bullied way worse later on in life, but, like, I don't go boo-hoo. In fact, I'd shake my bully's hands. Like, most kids who picked on me or gave me a hard time, I'm just like, hey, man, how you doing? Like, how's life and whatever? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I'm just like, dude, it's so stupid to, like, hold that grudge. Because I'm like, you taught me a lot. You know what I mean? Like, even the kid that I got in a fist fight with in 8th grade because he was, like, picking on Rob or whatever, I was just like, I went and settled it. I got my ass beat.
Yeah.
Ass straight up beat. Like, handed to me bad. And it was on video and everything. But, like, I'm like, dude, if you can't learn to just kind of laugh at yourself and be like, yeah, I mean, a dumb move. You know, I was in a neck brace, like, 2 weeks earlier, like, because I broke my neck skating. And then I decided to get into a fist fight over this stupid thing. But, like, you know what I mean? I think that kid's cool now. He was, like, last I saw, he was on Instagram flying drones or whatever, and that shit looked tight.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, I liked it. I was like, yo, that shit's tight. Like, what kind of drone is that? Like, because, like, dude, like, even though we, like, hated each other and we were just calling each other these awful names, like, and, like, fighting over what each other, like, wore and stuff. I'm like, because he always used to, like, wear, like, pink Hollister shirts, and I would always wear my leather jacket. And he would always call me like a flaming homo and stuff. And I'm like, dude.
Fuck off, yeah.
I'm not the dude wearing pink.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but if you're going to play that game, like, you're wearing a pink shirt with a seagull on it. And, like, that's obviously not how I think about it now. But when you're like 14 years old,
you're like, I got it.
You're like, dude, are you kidding me? I'm wearing a leather jacket. Fucking... Have you ever seen Grease? Those guys are badass. I was like, how are you going to flip that on me?
How are you going to be I'm Grease and you're the pink lady right now and you're going to fucking battle me right now.
But, like, it wasn't, like, now I look at it, I'm just like, no, like, I totally respect those kids because, like, you know, he probably works a better job than I do now. And because, like, he kept himself nice and clean cut and everything. And he was a good kid overall. Yeah. He made some bad jokes at Rob's expense. And I just decided to take it upon myself. But, like, I don't have any hate against him, and he was dressing fine. He looked great. You know what I mean? Like, I was dressing like a little fucking punk that would flip off the principal every time he turned his back. That's what I was doing. Yeah. And, like, that's not any better than... You know what I mean? It's just like, you gotta, as you get older, you just gotta learn that you have a backbone. And
Absolutely.
You gotta stand for what you believe.
You gotta use it.
And it's like, do you really want to be the guy that's known as flinging insults at people because of how they dress? No. You don't want to be that guy. That's stupid. And that's what I think, like, most bullies grow up to realize that, like, you know, I don't want to be remembered as that either.
Yeah.
So, like, things change, people change.
And it's so long ago, too, because, like, well, at least for me, it's been at least a decade, and all the people that I remember being, like, bullies of mine, because I had a lot of bullies, especially doing music. Like, I think of my first songs, and this was back when, like, MySpace was popping, and I remember my music on MySpace as JB the Canadian had, like, 50,000 freaking plays, like, throughout, like, the 4 songs. And I remember, awesome, like, getting sarcastic plays. Like, not real plays, like, I love this song. Like, they were so bad that they were overplayed, and you go to Pinkerton, and everyone fucking knows who you are.
You ever seen the movie The Room? That's not a bad thing.
Well, sometimes it's bad. Like, I got shit all throughout high school. Like, sophomore,
people were fucking
year.
with your music. Like, either way.
No.
Even if they were sarcastic plays. Like, I mean... Dude, you were providing them with entertainment.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember just being like, fuck, man. Like, and I look back and I'm like, these bullies suck, but I don't even know their names anymore. Like, I don't remember, like, I know some specific instances.
Wait, I mean, just
but like they dissipate with fucking everything else. I mean, it's like when I was talking to my parents not so long ago. They talk about, oh, like we took you out to Disney World, or they brought you here, and like I don't fucking remember that. Yeah. Like did that? Like you don't like 90% of your life just kind of drifts with the past, and the main things really stand out to you, and that's why like I get excited about doing my birthday show, because I feel like those memories are so like. They'll stick with me like moving forward, but there's so many things in your past, like there's so many friends I'm sure I was super best friends with in 5th grade that I don't even know their names anymore, or like I don't even remember this experience or this memory or anything. So like to just dwell on things even now, when I'm about to push 30, will it matter when I'm 40? Will it matter when I'm 50?
I mean, in reality, not, but the way I always try to govern every situation is like you just saw, like I always try to turn things into a positive. So like when you're like, people are listening ironically, like sarcastically, and I'm just like, dude, I don't know, you're still entertaining them. Yeah. Because like that's how my brain always works. I'm like, it really does suck. Like when like I was like running the Talents Instagram and everything, and like people were like commenting like bad things on like a couple of my posts or whatever. Really? Yeah, I got a couple of hateful things, and I was just like, I mean, dude, they're taking the time. I was just like, I'm like, they're taking the time to look at my shit and at least review it.
That's a good way to look at it.
And they gave me a fair critique.
Opposite, yeah.
To be honest, like, yeah, it was filled with a little bit of hate, but you dig past that a little bit and you go, oh, I can understand why they think this artwork looks similar to this person, and they are an influence of mine. Maybe I should keep an idea that I should lower my media intake while I'm creating, because maybe I'm getting influenced. And yeah, obviously it was a hateful message, but like,
or maybe show your inspirations.
Yeah, and I was like, like I would always like talk to these people, and nobody like really took it like super bad. I was just always like, overall my whole life, I'm just like, dude, like just try to create positive environments for everyone. And it's not like that fake positivity, but just don't bring anything else negative to the table if you don't have to. If somebody needs to kind of be put in their place, like I'm not against like getting dirty if somebody's like hurting people or whatever, but like, overall, life is way too short to get caught up in arbitrage like of opinions. Yeah. Like I'm like, dude, if you think my hair's funny and you decide to let it out, like it's not like the next day I'm gonna be like shaving my head. I'm just like, that was JB's opinion. Mm-hmm. That's why his hair isn't long. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's like we all have different tastes and everything. We don't all like The Departed. We don't all like the Ramones. We don't all like the same movies. We don't like all the same things. We all have different tastes and everything, and we're gonna reflect that on people who we decide to hang out around, or who we get jealous of or anything. And we can just like slapping a review on a movie, like, oh, I saw that movie, it sucked. But would you say that with the director in the room? You know what I mean? Like if you were sitting down like having a good, and he was like, guys, I want you to see my movie, would you literally come and go, dude, that sucked? No, you wouldn't. We just get so comfortable with slinging opinions around that sometimes we do it when we're drunk or when we're young and we're full of hormones and everything. We say things, and it's not actually how we think. We just try to hurt each other to get the leg up, and that's just how humans are wired. And once you understand that, you can kind of go like, listen, I get why you think that, and I know why you're saying it, but like it's if you don't meet it with aggression, then I feel like people are just normally really cool. I can normally become friends with almost anyone, I feel like. And if they don't like me, then they don't like me. I'm not asking them to. Yeah. You know what I mean? And do your own thing. It's your own life. If I piss you off, then just, I don't want you to hang out with me. Not because I'm like, I don't want to hang out with somebody that doesn't like me. It's, I don't want you to hang out because if I'm making your time bad, like if you're not having fun, then I don't want you to do that. Go do things that make you happy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like whatever that is. Like, I don't know.
And I know we drifted very far away from the talent, but I would like to just...
I was like, this is my Ponzi scheme to get you away from it. I got to talk to JB about bullying.
Just give a recap
on... A sensitive issue.
Just give a recap on the talent, and we'll kind of transition that into the talent into Eastwood, and... But just let people know what the talent was to you. I know you've drifted away from it.
I don't even think I've said it like super publicly. I think I said it like once on Twitter, but I guess like I'm gonna say it now.
Yeah,
like,
feel free to let the people know.
I gotta make sure I look really funny so people can quote this picture. The talent is over. I'm done with it. Sorry, I've had like a few drinks, but yeah, I'm done with the talent. It's just
completely.
Like, well, I mean, if I'm fucking 34 and I'm just like,
So
let's say I'm 34 and I'm married, right? And like maybe I have a good job and I have some extra money laying around. My wife literally just pulls out a box and she goes like, "What is this? Why does it say the Talent?" I'll be like, "That's my old clothing brand." You know what? I'm gonna restart that because I'm halfway through my 30s and I'm having a midlife crisis. You know what I mean?
So that's the only way it will come back.
Maybe
for the most part.
I don't predict the
future. You're all set with it.
Yeah, I'm all set with it. It's just like because like the last shirt I worked on, I was having a good time with it, but then I was just like, when I just like I did it and I was just like, I don't even want to ship out these orders. I don't want to do this, and I'm like, that's unfair to the people who order things and support and everything. I'm like, that's not fair to do, to like just make something with like such a half-assed intention on it when they're giving me money, something that they worked for, to ship them something that I'm not even totally proud of or something. And that was only like in the last couple months of it, and then I was just like, I went on hiatus, and then I was like, I'm good. Done. Yeah. And I just, it's not really sad to me. I'm actually really happy. I felt really liberated.
Well, yeah, because now your time's not split up like a pie chart. You know what I mean? Like it's not like you have a chunk of it going to the talent anymore. You can invest it.
That's actually like a really interesting point that you made, because like I never looked at it that way. That was like the thing. But like when I started Eastwood, all of a sudden the talent became a piece of the pie chart. Mm-hmm. It never was, because like it was my time, Eastwood, and then free time. Like, which is different than my time, because my time is always spent making things. Free time would be like skateboarding or whatever. Yeah. But like the talent never had a slice on that, because whatever my time was always towards the talent. Yeah. It was just like
previously.
Sit down, open up Photoshop, and whatever happens. And then it just all of a sudden I started opening up Photoshop, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. I just want to go skate, or I want to go to the gym, or I want to go do something. I want to go eat. I was like, wait, why all of a sudden does this start to feel like a job? Yeah. And I was like, that's not cool.
And that's how I felt with music. Music, like it's so liberating. You get to write down your emotions. You get to put it into like song form, and then all of a sudden you put it on a piece of paper, and then it's a part of it is out of your system. You're able to vent. But then when it starts turning into a job, and like when you get to a point, and I think a lot of people don't realize that when you're doing art, because with like, for instance, music or photography or like, like shirts and screen printing for the talent, you get to a point where you have to invest not only more time and more money and more energy into something, because you set a standard for yourself. So if I build an album, I use this producer, I use these productions, I use beats, these collabs, these lyrics. You have to one up yourself. You can't like put out something that you recorded on your desktop or your laptop mic, like in camera, and put that out. You set a goal and standard for yourself. So all of a sudden now you have to meet those standards with every single product you put out, because you feel you're letting yourself down otherwise. And then I'm sure it's the same thing with like your brand. It's like you can't just throw something at the wall and hope it sticks. Like you're gonna sit down in Photoshop, work on it for hours and hours and hours, and we'll go through your artwork and like your paintings and everything. Like you're trying to set that as your standard and like that caliber of artwork for a lot of your, like before you had your box logos, and then I saw it like evolve into more intricate designs that you were looking for. And I understand there's the basic, like, you can go backwards with stuff, like especially with architecture and design work. You can go backwards and create a basic design that has as much of effect as a more intricate design, but you set a standard for yourself. You have to invest a certain amount of hours doing the logo or doing the brand or doing the design, and then you have to spend money in order to print, do everything. Obviously you have your own screen printing process, but for everyone else, like for myself, if I go record, I can record it myself and spend 20 hours on something, or go to a studio and pay them $50-$100 to record and master me, and then all of a sudden, like, you already wasted a dozen hours, $200. You got to do the artwork, you got to do the promo, you got to do everything in order for it to like fulfill your standards, your personal standards.
The weird thing about everything that you just said is that I think you entirely missed the mark, but within that, you are entirely correct. And I never even really dove into that in my thought process. But everything that you mentioned was 100% true about screen printing, about Hall of Bean, about painting, about everything. The only thing it didn't include was the talent.
Yeah.
Because the talent, to me, was never about stepping it up. It was never about taking it to the next level. And every time I thought it was, I was wrong.
Yeah.
It was always just whatever just felt comfortable, and it was just, this is my passion project. And you can't have a passion project without passion. You just, no matter what.
But you also
can't make that work.
But you also have to like invest into printing. You have to order all the shirts for printing the talent on and everything. While before, like when it was just starting, you were printing a couple shirts for your friends, I'm sure. Compared to like because you've opened up your own online store. You know what I mean? You have to promote a little bit on Instagram. You have to do it's all the small steps too that kind of like envelop more than just like, oh, I created something cool on my freaking Photoshop, and now I can just like make a quick like.
I remember the exact last moment that I had a lot of fun with the talent, and that was what I consider in like my history as like
the peak,
the final summer.
Okay.
And like it was just like this time where like all of my friends were like super together, and like we were like filming videos. And like I was like creating like this, like I have it all on my computer, like this like really long video of just like everybody like wearing the talent, just doing fun things, and just I don't know, the summer was just like so fucking cool, and I can't fully explain why it was so great, but like I was doing it all for a promo video, but I just like, you know, because we were filming, we were just doing like Stranger Things, like we were just like I don't know, it would be like pissing rain, and we're just like, oh, just go out there and fucking we'll just like run to that pole, first one to that pole and back like wins, and it would just be like lightning and thunder, and like all of these just like stupid things. We were riding around in the convertible, sitting up like in the back part of it, and just like I think like what ended up happening was, I think that was kind of like, it sounds really sad, but like I feel like the talent was like dying at that moment, and it was kind of like its last fun for all the reasons that I created it and everything. And like I created it around friends and love and all of those things that like, and when I was hurting and everything just felt so good. Yeah. Everything was good.
The flow was nice.
Everything in life just felt perfect, and I was like, I created the talent out of pain, and now it's not painful anymore. Nothing's painful.
Yeah.
It just. Yeah. In general, like life just doesn't suck anymore for me.
I think it's not that life doesn't suck. I think that we've just progressed as people. You know what I mean? Like we've gotten older. So like us like crying because someone didn't return our favorite pencil or pen during a quiz or something like that was like the end of the world to us, like in elementary school. And then with every step like progressing is like you felt like, you know, like the 1 year into the talent, if that ended for you, that would be a heartbreak to you. But then like all of a sudden, like years later, you're like, I have developed as a person so much more than just a talent and just to be defined as this one thing. And I've fulfilled myself with what the talent is. So so I know we're closing in on the 1 hour mark. I know already.
That's awesome.
So I know one thing you wanted to play was a Mac Miller cover track.
Yes.
If you wanted to just talk real quick about Mac Miller's inspiration on you, and then we'll transition to the break and go to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of fucking unpacking for me.
You can give the whoa! I just had you know when you're like, oh, I have this ready to go, and then all of a sudden it drifts away. What is Spark Notes version? Just give the Spark Notes version. I couldn't think of Spark Notes.
Yeah, that's still really hard for me to get emotional, so I'm gonna try to dance over this like the best I can.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like down to like cry right now or anything like that. But like
every episode, it gets to that
like,
point.
It's just like I don't know. Like I started listening to Mac Miller when I started the talent, so like right there, you all of a sudden get like a major connection because I literally started listening to him. Like Blue Slide Park when I started the talent.
Oh shit!
And I listened to him every single release, everything that they did, anything from Larry Fisherman or Delusional Thomas, like everything that he did. I watched his show all. Like I would literally remember, like when I first got my laptop, I was sitting there creating designs, watching Mac Miller and the Most Dope Family on MTV. I was like, he felt like I related to him so much from like, because like when I started the talent, I was like, yeah, I'm the fucking man. I got a clothing brand because I was like young and pompous, and like that was the thing like fueling me. And then like as he got older and got more humble, I did too, and just like started and like I aligned
with him.
I felt like the talent was around like the whole time, and like this sounds so fucking corny, but I felt like I had the happy ending and he didn't.
Yeah.
And that just, this is a really hard thing for me to, because I'm like that doesn't make sense to me.
Absolutely, because like I think there's that facade, and like I think we all fell into it. And I think one of my fondest memories was growing up with my brother and Dill, like in the latter half, so like 2000, like 10, 12, like we all became friends and we all did music together, and we would always listen to Mac Miller's Best Day Ever and Kids, and then we would listen to Wiz Khalifa and everything, and that was such a really good span of 3 years and 3 summers where we would party and hang out and no care in the world, no drama, no like stress at all, and that was like such a peak moment for our lives that to like. And that in general, just the nostalgia behind it hit home for me absolutely, because I did a solo podcast not too long ago. The things that like definitely hit home for us is like, we're like, fuck man, like that's just like a moment of our life that just gone. So,
and also to like fuck it up even more, I mean like when I got out of high school, when I turned 18, this was my first tattoo, and it says like, if you love something, give it away. But
actually looks really good, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's a Bright Eyes tattoo, and Bright Eyes was like my favorite band, and like that, I was a sad part of my life that I was acting pathetic, and I was going through a breakup, and I was just trying to find myself.
Yeah.
I found myself with the talent.
Okay.
And Mac Miller was there, like when I was listening to him like early on, and I felt really in love with that, and then to get a matching side, I got a tattoo the day after he died, which it's hard to show here.
Yeah.
But it's in the same font, and it says, "In my head, these dreams are dreamt. Trust me, we are kings." And that's a line off of Aquarium, off of Watching Movies with the Sound Off. And like, again, it goes back to the theme of like, you know, when I was younger and I was listening to him, like, you know what I mean? Like I had this idea that I was like, I could be a lot more if I created something great. And so like in my head, these dreams are dreamt, like dreaming of greatness and just like being able to make something. And then like, trust me, we are kings. And it just reminded me of like, you know, you just don't give up. Just trust me. We got this. Like, we're going to be the best we can be.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I got that. And the song that you're going to be playing at the break is him covering a Bright Eyes song.
That's so cool.
So they got Bright Eyes on the side, and we got Mac Miller here. So I was like,
it's right there.
Yeah, and if I'm gonna be talking about like the talent ending on this podcast, I was like, I gotta play that.
You gotta give it a nice.
It almost feels like
song.
A movie.
Yeah, you gotta give it a nice funeral song. So Lua by Mac Miller. We'll be back shortly. We're going to take a Red Bull and try to be a little bit more optimistic coming up next, because I know Mac Miller's
be positive.
Be positive. Hits deep for both of us. So we're going to play the music break, and we'll be right back.
It's a sad song. I'm sorry.
We'll be back.
It's perfect.
Let's fucking go. Fuck, man. Oh, my God. It's one of those things where, what the... You cock!
What happened?
I don't know. It's just a pain in the ass. It likes to do whatever it wants anyways. It likes to here, let me try this. Let me... Of course not.
Now we know who you are.
Now you know who I am. Oh, that's why.
I've been wondering this whole time.
I want to know who you are, because I feel kind of bad. All right, let's do this again. All right, so we turn off everything, and then we come back. Like, it's so funny, because I'm doing pretty fucking well right now.
Are we live?
Yeah, we're live. That's the best part. I love being live and just fucking going missing. How bad is my hair? Yeah, we'll wear the beanie.
I love how it disappears. It's so fucking cool. Yo, get right in front of the shot glass real quick.
Shot glass like this?
Yeah, let's see the hat. It goes right through it. Yeah. It's so cool. Yeah, we should have wore all green. That would have been so cool.
Just been floating heads. So one thing I do want to talk to you about, because we went off kilter for a while.
I thought it was a good conversation.
It was a great conversation.
Wait,
but it's not
3 beers in?
Yeah,
no way.
That's what happens. I'm about the same.
But no, what I'm saying is, like, I looked at myself in the mirror. I did the classic thing of, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what you do? You're like, let's evaluate. You know what I mean? When you do that, you're just like, kind of like, where am I at? And I was like, I'm good. What the fuck? I'm good. I'm having clear thoughts. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh.
You're like, I've definitely had those where, like, you're shit-faced, you go to the bar bathroom, you take a piss, and you're like, fuck, man. And then you go in the mirror, and, like, it's like the Benjamin Franklin, like, bill that, like, judges you.
Yeah.
You look at yourself, and you have those eyes, you're like, I'm at that point, I hate my life.
If I'm singing at the urinal, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, it's the classic.
So, one thing I want to talk to you about real quick.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if we should go into the Instagram questions and then go into this.
People have been like literally, if you go on Instagram, they're like, yo, when are you going to get to it? I don't want to watch this shitty show.
I don't want to fucking watch it for an hour and then
I'm
get
like
into
literally,
it.
I'm not saying that about you. Literally, one of my friends said that. I know they're joking, but like,
they're just talking shit. They're like,
yeah.
fuck, I don't want to.
I'm like, yo, I'll just do a super clip of it, like a super cut.
See, I've always felt bad because like I want to put it on the front end, but I feel like people ask like more critical questions, so I want to be at least like a lot of drinks deep before even like responding to them, because I feel like if we go into like the cringe clip, we'll start like spacing out 3 minutes into it or 2 minutes into it.
Well, let's stay on track.
Let's
do it.
go.
Let's do it.
So one thing I do want to get into is Eastwood as a whole. Or do you want how do you want to go about this? So the 3 things I've queued up for you, and it depends on how you want to go about it. Is Halloween, Eastwood.
Sorry. Continue.
Eastwood, and your paintings.
How do I want to go?
Because we didn't
we
really
can
talk about
Eastwood
anything.
real quick.
We didn't talk about freaking anything.
Eastwood.
We talked about talent and then bullies for an hour, and then
Yeah, I feel like that's
we're
gonna be
back.
like a fucking meme of me now. They'll be like, Brian Bean, stop bullying.
Oh, that's weird. Did you spill something? No way. No way.
Yo,
No way.
For all those watching right now, you can't even tell. They're spilling shit over there. They're dropping things on the electrical. They're trying to shut us down. But we're here to fight bullying. They want us to stop. They're trying to spill it on the electrical board. But nope. We'll fight bullying even when this shuts off.
So let's talk about Eastwood. So Eastwood is your screen printing company, and you ended up opening a storefront in Hudson, which is I don't have enough. Well, maybe I don't have enough friends, but like there's out of my people I know, there's not that many people that own their own company and store. And I know like Ian 13 Ball Delorme had his own
Ian
like
13 Ball. That's what I know him as.
He had his own smoke shop, and but like I've never
I made the sign for.
Huh?
Which I made the sign for.
Did you?
Yeah.
No shit.
That's how I know Ian.
You did the sign for him.
I was like kissing his ass super a lot. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Bully me, motherfucker! Bully me!
Let's go!
I'm giving you raw material. I was kissing his asshole. No, I just thought he was like super cool that he owned a shop and like whatever and
Mike Wayne CDs.
And obviously you can tell why I thought it was so cool, because I went on to open my own. But like I thought it was so fucking cool, and like I just wanted him to succeed. I wanted to be part of it so badly, but like not like for money purposes or anything. I just wanted.
You like seeing people.
Like again from like who I am, brand identity. It's like something I just want to have my hands on. I just want to create more with brands. Like that's always what I love to do. And when I just met somebody, I'm like, dude, you need a logo. You need something dope. And I'm talking like fucking sick. And then he's like. Again, I know it sounds ridiculous because it is ridiculous, but that's just who I am as a person. So I was like, I created this character, James Bong, which is just a bong wearing a tuxedo because it's classy glass. And I hand painted a giant wooden sign for him, and he still has it to this day. And I didn't even charge him for it. I spent like 80 hours on this stupid thing. And it's actually not even stupid because it came out dope. Yeah. And I still love it. I wish I owned it. But like, I made it because he's like, Brian, he's like, we're not getting a lot of people into the store right now. And he's like, it's because we don't have a sign. That's what it is. And he was right. He was 100% right. He was in the back of the building. And I was like, I got you, man, because I want this thing to succeed. And he's like, what do you mean it got you? I'm like, I'll make a sign and I'll charge you whatever. And then he's like, oh, well, you know, I don't have a lot of money for it and everything. And I was like, because you just started out, you know, which is understandable. Trust me, it's nothing. If you start a business, I did it for 2 years, and then I own the talent for 5. Like, you don't have any money when you own a business, like for the first couple of years. Yeah. It's just not something.
And at the very least, you reinvest. So whatever money you do make, you put back into it.
Or you look for suckers like me who are willing to help you out for free. Yeah. And I was like, I'm gonna paint you a sign, and I dropped it off, and like it was so cool, and that's why me and Ian are still such good friends because like I respect the fuck out of that dude, and he took a leap and. It was really fucking cool.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Like, you know, and like I think he saw it in me just how early on, like I would hang out there for like 2 hours just like talking to him about like business and like everything because I don't know, I loved it, the whole like brand identity behind it, and Ian's such a fucking stand-up guy. Yeah. He's so nice.
That's you.
Oh fuck.
Feel free to let the audience know what Eastwood was, the start, the death, everything.
Eastwood was just it was a screen printing company which is like arguably started way before we actually got the storefront. We just didn't slap that name on it. I was just screen printing out of my garage. And then I went to go work for a screen printer down in Danvers, Ben Franklin Tees. Shout out to Joe Schulte. He's like the fucking man. And I don't even think he's watching this, but either way, he's the fucking man. Like he's like one of the coolest guys I've ever fucking met. And Rob ended up coming down to work there, and Mike and Rob both kind of like talked me into, they're like, yo, we could do this on our own. I feel like we could do this. And I was always like relatively apprehensive because like Joe took care of me like better than any boss I ever had. They're like fucking family to me. Like Ryan, Cap, Joe, they're all like family to me. Like I care about those guys more than it was way more than just a workplace to me. Yeah. And you know, I went to go start my own company, and you know, Joe wished me the best and was like, yo, just go do your thing. Do what you got to do. You know what I mean? If you want to give a good swing at it. And he's been more than helpful my whole life. He's given me advice and just like helped me out with everything. And honestly, from him, we did a really great, I
did the same thing. I was like,
somebody's making like wobbly faces at me. And,
wobbly faces is the grossest. Like
wobbly faces is gross.
Wobbly gross is that gross. If someone had a face that was defined as wobbly,
is that like your way? Like you know how like some people have
moist?
With moist.
Yeah,
you already knew the word before I said it. But you're like wobbly moist.
But imagine.
Moist.
Okay,
I'm saying it.
All right. So we'll pretend like that didn't happen. Okay. So
I'm looking for cues from my guy over there. He's like, let me know.
Think about it. All right. So think about it right now. I'm describing to someone. So I'm like, I was at the bar the other day, and I'm talking to someone, and like, you probably know him. He has like a wobbly face. What's the first thing that pops into your head?
I'd probably think he's super cute.
But it's like,
I'd be like,
it's
look
such
at that cute guy over there with his wobbly face.
Who has what's a wobbly face? I just picture like a wave. Distorted.
He was doing this. He was like wobbly, and I don't know if that means like he's
their face or the hand. I don't know what he was doing. What were you doing?
It was like
that's wobbly. That's face. A wobbly hand.
That's wobbly face.
That's a wobbly hand. But
his head was doing this face. Too. He was like, I don't know. And he was like, I think he's either saying like Hume, you're
yeah, but that's the head motion. The head motion is being wobbly. Not the face. Imagine the face being like this. Like that would fuck me up.
I know. I feel like he was like telling how I was stretching it, but like honestly, like the whole fucking crew that I had like at Ben Franklin Tees was like awesome to me, and like, but that's what he was like stretching off of it. And I was just like, and I was like, because like Stork likes to fucking bust my balls. He loves to see me riled up, but everybody's getting riled up right now. Whatever. Anyways, I respected my former employer. I went out to start my own company, and the fucking company was just boring. And it wasn't
really.
It wasn't boring because screen printing is boring or anything. It was because everybody lost their desire to do it.
Yeah,
and I was like,
initial
I'm like, I still like doing it, but the more everybody else lost their value, I was like, I'm fucking done. Like everybody just kind of like put their hands up and was like done with it, and then like, you know, everybody kind of follows in suit. So
do you have any advice for people that are trying to follow the same footsteps, like the do's and don'ts that you learned, like in this, how long was it? A year? 2 years?
It was 2 years. Yeah. All I gotta say is, like, if you're gonna start a company, especially with your friends, you gotta make sure you're absolutely in love with it.
Yeah.
And like, I still love screen printing. I love anything with creating things. That's just me. Like, I still love it. But the thing is that,
well, I mean,
when you couple it with the responsibility of your other friends' lives, and your friends come to you and they're like, oh, I have to work this job also on top of this to pay the bills and all of these other things, and like everybody has like their own responsibilities. This is life, you know. Everybody has those, and you know those things. Early on, all adults will tell you, they're like, don't get into business with your friends, you'll end up hating each other, and don't start a company unless you love it. The only one of those ones that is like really true is that don't start a company unless you love it, because like you'll still love your friends through and through as long as you put your friends first before the company. But that's a really hard thing to wager, because you're wagering between, you know, everybody thinking that you're good enough. So everybody goes like, if you have a company that's failed, then you must suck.
Yep.
Or having friendships. And because my friends are way more important to me. Like this whole theme of this podcast, like, has been like, you know, early on, my friends have always been the number one, and they still are.
Yeah.
And you know, my friend's mental health was like falling apart from this company, and like I was falling apart too. I'm not gonna lie. It's just like it's the chaotic creative that I am, that I'm just like, I was falling apart too. Don't get me wrong, but I was just kind of like, well, this is what we signed up for, so let's fucking do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it wasn't them who decided. I decided.
Absolutely.
I made the decision, and it wasn't up to me. I just read them and just said, I'm like, guys, if you guys don't want to do this anymore, then let's not do it. And it was obviously up to them just as much, and they said, like, I'm good with this.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can respect that, because I respect everybody's decisions on what they want to do with life. And I'm like, life is way too short. We could die in a car accident tomorrow. We took the risk. We tried it out, and it didn't work. And it's fine. We actually.
But you know now.
But we did good. We didn't get in the red. We ran a successful company by all stretches of the imagination. Like, it was on paper a solid business that was working. We just needed a couple more years to build more clientele. But we just decided, we're like, do we go to the bank now and start getting loans to try to up, you know, marketing, better equipment and everything, and get ourselves in the red and get ourselves here stuck more? Or do we just cut our losses
doors now,
and just strike a deal and get out when we can? And the way I looked at it was, I was just like, people are looking at me.
Trust me, I do the same thing. What are we doing? Fill it what? The drink? What the who's complaining? Who's complaining? Yeah. All right, you know what I'm gonna say right now?
All right, I'm gonna
talk shit right now. All right,
I'm talking about my family company, and you guys are telling me to drink.
We're gonna make some major announcements at the end of the podcast, so keep tuning in. But
what are we talking about?
No, I'm just totally sidestepping, because my dad's the one that was talking shit about your beer being not filled.
Yeah,
all right, I'm gonna say right now.
Somebody's got to remind me. I like your books. You remind me.
In December, okay? So like mid-December, I have my dad coming on the podcast. And we're gonna watch like old like home video, hopefully, depending on like if like he's able to find them. So we're gonna watch old home videos.
That's so cool.
And just shoot the shit and just talk about life and like growing up, and like we lived in Canada for most of like, well, not most of my life. I always say most of my life, but then I realized it was 10 years. So when I was 18, it like applied, but now that I'm 28, most of my life is here. So like, but I would love to just shoot the shit with him, but he's the one watching right now and just talking shit. He's the one talking shit. He's gonna come here. All right, Dad. If you're on.
You're on.
You're about to be
I'm
on.
gonna be in the comments.
Brian's gonna be marketing. It's like, get Justin's dad fucked up because he came over and he talks shit.
Say it out loud.
Your mom's on his side.
Oh yeah, of course she is. She's like,
oh, your mom's watching?
What are they telling me to do? Just say it out loud.
She said she wanted you to drink it. She accepted. She accepts maybe your dad.
I like his dash.
All right.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
So my dad and your mom are becoming friends right now.
We're going down past the
That's
logo.
so funny. That's so funny. Hey, don't. Who's watching of your family?
Nobody.
No, who was?
My grandmother.
Oh, shout outs to Kat's grandmother, because that's funny that like I think your family was tuning in last week too, and they're just like tuning in and checking out. Like I think your mom was telling me that not so long ago. It's so cool to just see people tune in, because at the end of the day it's just having a conversation. But now that we've talked about the life and death,
this is what you guys get. I'm sorry. This is the quality content that you get. You can either talk about me, my business, or I can
burp.
I'll burp.
So
for you guys.
we talked about the life and death, about the talent in Eastwood, and the next thing I want to talk to you about is one of your other passions, and that's painting. And graphic art as general, because like I kind of grouped it all. It was easier for me to just put it all into one slideshow than to like be like, all right, this is paintings, this is graphic, and I know you called me out on it too.
I didn't call you out.
This fucked me up, by the way, because your fucking post was like,
I already know what you're talking about.
He's like, I already know hey guys, I'm on Bob's Burgers, and I just did some voice work for him, and I'm like animated to the series. And you posted this fucking picture.
You should have posted with the
freaking
the comment.
I just stole all the pictures. It was something like where you're like, "Hey guys, like I'm proud to announce that I'm gonna be in Bob's Burgers next."
Oh yeah. And I said, I'm like, yo, they wouldn't let me wear the talent for licensing issues.
And I was like, "Fuck, man, that is so fucking good." Like, look at this right now. This looks like this
looks like me. I don't know. I'm
not anymore.
Yeah, no. I had the shaved sides of my head at one point. If I did this, it kind of.
And then if you threw that all out, you'd be good.
If I put that down, whatever.
But like, I remember seeing this, and like, I was like, I didn't know you were troll. I didn't know you were at that like.
I just can't believe people believe me. Of
course, look how dope this looks. Like it's in this similar style.
Yeah.
Which is like moderately easy to do, like just because you kind of take like from like the current assets in the screenshot and other assets. But like people, like you see this and it looks like it could be part of the show.
Yeah. I think so. Because like to me, I'm like, well, shit, those lines aren't super straight on the hair, and like they're like very crooked, like at the top of the part in the hair.
You're talking about the girl?
And
I don't watch the show, so I don't know any character.
No, that's Linda. I'm talking about. What are we doing?
Oh, yours.
We're crossing swords here, buddy. No, I'm talking about like the top of my hair, like just how like there's like a little too much like detail and like things that you would see that the animators wouldn't use for Flash. Like it's just so like it doesn't fall completely in suit with their style. And I posted it literally thinking everybody was gonna think it was a joke.
No.
And I posted the link. I was like, yo, you can check out the teaser for the new season. And it was just like a Rick Rolled video. And like everybody
and this is like post Rick Roll too. Yeah. That you're Rick Rolling people.
Yeah, I was just like
I was Rick Rolling people in like AIM days.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I would have fell for it too. I would have been just...
No, this looks good, and like even this one right here, which is BoJack Horseman, is that what it is?
BoJack Horseman.
So I have this looks fucking dope too.
Yeah, I mean, neither one of these look like me anymore. I look more like the Pelican guy. I honestly.
The freaking horse on the screen right here.
Oh yeah, that's BoJack. I don't know why he's on two TVs. I just like pulled that off of there. He's actually behind me, like the character that kind of looks like me wearing the talent right there.
Yeah, well, no, people know which one is you.
No, yeah, I know. Well, sometimes people can get confused. I kind of look like a Pelican. But like right back there, you see like the gray back of a guy.
Oh, so there's 3 BoJacks?
There's 3 BoJacks in that scene. So I just put myself in front of that one, but there's actually 3 BoJacks in the scene, and like no one actually fell for that one, I don't think. But I posted on.
Well, because this came after the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I posted on like a BoJack Horseman page, and people were like, in the comments, they were like, "Is that a character I missed?" And I was like, "Nope." My God, I gotta burp so bad. I gotta stop repressing. Is everybody talking to me?
Mike Wing only wants burps, no more talking. Drinking and burps.
We should just do that. Imagine if we did like a
just
full,
an hour of
30 seconds
fucking burping.
To be on the next one with your dad. His mom wants to be on
Yo, that'd be so funny.
Biggest collaboration. Just a parents episode.
Oh my god,
dude! Because the reason.
Imagine if we literally just sat like in a spectator seat right behind a green screen, and we just had our parents sit here and watch home videos of us and just talk shit about us the whole time. And every time they said something insulting to us, we have to take a sip. That'd be so funny.
Yeah, it'd be shit faced real quick. My dad has a lot to say about me.
My mom would be like,
Brian. That's so funny. Huh? Oh, the comments, Jesus! Oh my God. The next thing I want to get into is more of your painting, and I'm hoping I'm gonna time this right because it's like, yes, okay. So you, okay, peanut gallery.
You start out with my least favorite. That's like
that's the point. We work up because I have the ones that like.
How do you know which one's my favorite?
I don't know. Like I figured like the Bon Iver didn't didn't hit home as much as like the Tyler the Creator and like Poppy one that you got.
Wow,
like
for one, the fucking skull is the same color as the sky. Like what the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah, so is that like just a transparent on the skull? It just worked out that way.
No, it's like it was supposed to be like tan because I wanted to go with like a brown tones to it, and there's nothing about this painting that I like.
Okay, well, perfect.
Whoa. He didn't even ask me why. He was just like, okay, fair enough. Nobody else likes it, so next.
So I have a question for you regarding, because like I feel like with a lot of your talent artwork and or Eastwood, correct me like which one way or the other, but I think
another one, guys, relax. We're doing another one.
I
think the only people in there is just my mom and his dad.
Just hanging out.
Oh my God.
I know one of the reoccurring themes you have with your artwork is the skull and skeleton in general. Yeah. Is that, but with like still like human like features, like obviously like hair and like clothes. Explain like your thought process behind that. Or your inspiration.
To be honest, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's absolutely nothing behind it except for the fact that I've just always been interested in skulls, and I've always just wanted to get better at painting them. Well, not even just painting them, but drawing them too, and just learning the more anatomy and like shadowing. Because like, there's one thing with like shadows on the face, which are very mild. Like if we look at the camera right now, there's such mild shadows that you see.
Yeah.
Versus a hard object such as like skull and bone, where there's like different shadows, like way more in depth and everything. So I was just like, to be honest, I just started painting, and I was like.
See, and a lot of people will read into it, like the skulls in general, like because you get a lot of those like Facebook posts where it's like we're all the same, and then they show like white person skull, black person skull, and it's all like the same skull or skeleton.
It's just like that is. Wait, real quick, let's just comment on that. That is such like a lame way of commenting about race and differences and everything. Like to me, that is just like. It's like garbage because we are like, yes, we are all same. We are all the same on the, like the bone structure and whatever. Like we all have skeletons that build up who we are. And
I thought that's what it was.
But I like people who share that stuff. They just I feel like they're proud that they're not racist. And like I think that's like such like a weird thing to be instead of just not being racist. Yeah, like let's just not be racist. Like let's not like, hey, I want to let you know. I'm not one of them racist fellas.
Did you know that?
Yeah,
like because it's like, hey, by the way, don't categorize me with everyone else. But I think
that, like the thing that makes us all beautiful is not the skeleton; it's who we are.
Yeah, the thing that makes us an individual, and that's what I thought you were capitalizing on. Is like, yeah, we're all a skeleton underneath, but like the individualism, which is like. The hair.
Oh, that's
and
a
like
great
the
interpretation.
Teeth.
I actually like that. We'll go with his definition.
You can take it.
Yeah, we're gonna go with his. He's gonna be my art curator. He's gonna talk to all the curators.
I think we got a question from the audience, and for those of you watching right now, feel free to send us questions. If it's a good enough question, we'll answer it. If you ask us how we poop, we might not answer it. Sorry, Bonnie. Sorry, Bonnie.
What surreal artist do you like?
What surreal artist do I like?
That's for you because I got none.
To be honest, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, just because I make art doesn't mean I know like all the terminologies and everything. I'm not gonna pretend like I do.
Oh, you didn't go to art college?
What the fuck is that? Clown school? No, I like surreal. What do you mean? Like fake artists? Like I know there's like a terminology and
fake artists?
No. Like the artists who create things that aren't real.
Yeah, aren't.
Yeah, but like the thing is that like fiction. But if you tell somebody who like if I mentioned Dali, they would be like, no, he was an impressionistic surrealist and like whatever. And it's like I don't want to get into all that terminology. If you just want to ask me what my favorite artist is, it's like it's Dali. That's surprise. Yeah. I'm like, if you want to know my favorite artist, it's Dali, okay?
Oh fuck, man. Lil Yachty, which I remember you posting this on Twitter, and like it got a huge reaction. Like a lot of people.
Yeah, it's because I tweeted at him.
In one of his posts.
I'm not even gonna pretend like people like I did not get that naturally. Like it wasn't like that, and like I'm not trying to like make that like a secret to make it seem like it got natural traction. It wasn't like that at all. I literally created a technique.
I didn't say that. I know you're not good.
Yeah, I know. CJB knows. No, but like literally to any other artist out there, if you want some extra clout, this is like a trick tip for you that I will share with you 100%. So go on Twitter. Twitter is the best way to go because everybody does not like just like everything. Like you watch a weird video on Facebook or whatever, you read all the comments to see what other people react to it. People do the same thing with what celebrities tweet. So if you're an artist, draw a celebrity. Whether you're good or not, it doesn't matter. But if you want to start like gaining, it will actually help you practice too. Draw them, and then turn on their notifications on Twitter as soon as they tweet. And you need to be within the first 30 seconds. You need to have your tweet there.
Yeah.
Because then everybody will see your tweet, and then they'll just favorite it just because you're making artwork. Because like, especially like the whole like stan culture and everything of like people loving a particular artist, which is what happened with the Yachty thing, is like people just absolutely adore him. And any kind of gesture towards fandom towards him, it just makes people go crazy. And like I like this painting and I think it's good. I think the one thing that actually made it garner a reaction was just because it wasn't a picture of him that I had recreated. It was something entirely original.
You got the little boat and you got like just the
shark with the grills and everything. So it was
cool.
just so original that like when people saw it, they looked at it and they just, I'm not even saying that people were like, oh, wow, that's really good. People just went, cool. They just kept scrolling.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like that. Like
It's so stupid.
People
don't realize.
People mistake numbers for actual, like, human connection and reaction towards things. And that's not how it works. It isn't. Yeah. Which is fine, because, like, it'll gain you followers that will want to learn more about you. Because, like, the people who really care and go, like, wow, I actually really love this, they will follow you. And that it's not about gaining more followers. That's not what it is. It's gaining more, like, again, what we were talking about earlier, having a pedestal where you're allowed to see a bigger audience and a bigger audience is be able to see you. You're going to weed out the ones that love you and the other ones that don't. Because, like, there's so many people that they're like, Chief, you got to put this thing for sale. People will buy this because it had, like, over 700 likes or whatever. Right. And then I tweet back at them and I'm like, here's the link. There's no sales.
Yeah, no,
because it's not like that.
Not. Yeah, it's
people
not
just
like that.
Because people think they see a high number and they go, well, at least like 50% of those are going to buy them at least. No, not at all.
No,
and that's fine. I like that's not why I did it. I did it because like I was like, it'd be cool to get some reaction out of like Little Yachty or something like that.
Yeah.
If he retweeted, that'd be super
which
cool.
we will get into the people that did retweet.
But like but one of the things I have to do comment about the skulls, considering I feel like they're gonna keep coming up, is that like what we were talking about earlier on is just like I'm kind of new to painting again, and I was just kind of I'm flexing some muscles. Like I'm trying to learn what
every aspect.
I'm trying to learn what I'm good at, and what better way to do that than just having like a new subject matter and not having to go like pull out of a hat like, oh, I'm gonna paint a cheetah on a fire truck or something like that. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be totally random. You find an artist, you find what their brand is and attribute some things like that, and then you'll gain some people's attention all the while every single day, forcing yourself to make one painting, which is all these were done in 24 hours. I would just do it to get the practice and see how well it comes out or whatever, and then just gauge people's reactions on it. It was literally just a practice, no different than what they would do in a school. They would tell you here's your subject matter, you got to paint something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna create my own little rubric, and I did it for like a week, and I did like 6 paintings or whatever it was.
Yeah, and they were all dope.
Thank you, I appreciate that. But like again, that wasn't what I was setting out to do. I was setting out to just learn. Yeah.
And that's how I feel with the podcast too, because I've always felt like I can entertain like my audience and just I talk a lot, and I know how to interact with people.
Well, you're
and people
good
like
at
to have
it.
a nice conversation. So when I started up the podcast, I felt the same. Where it's fuck, man, people want to hear people's lives. You know what I mean? People want to be just tune into social interaction, because that's what half the Facebook videos are. They go through and they're this person got in a fight. This person is a Marine's coming back home. People love that social interaction that they don't typically inhibit themselves.
Well, people go on social media just to be able to experience all the things of being human.
Yeah, which is so weird, obviously.
I don't think it's weird. Humans have always done it. That's the reason why headlines are the most interesting part of the subject. Even on newspapers back in the day.
Yeah, which they're
like, man gets head cut off. You're like, well, if I was driving on the highway, I would totally to turn my head and see somebody get head cut off. And then once you see it, you're like, that's disgusting. That's so disturbing. And when you get home, you tell your friend, you're like, I saw something that really fucked me up. Man. I need a bottle of whiskey.
Then you talk it,
because people, even though they don't want to see it, they do want to see it.
They want to see it. Yeah,
and that's what social media is all about. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing has changed with humans. Nothing. We just have a new way of sharing it. Yeah. That's it. There's nothing changed.
It's so funny because Thursday, I had to go to a meeting for my job, and I drove back with the vice president of my company, and we were talking about how headlines have shifted, because back in the day they only had their local news and they only had 3 channels on the TV and everything, and nowadays it's the biggest headline wins. It's a competition now. Yeah. So it's there could be 20 shootings that day because there's 50 states. Think about maybe half of them inhibit a shooting across all the towns and all the cities, which isn't which is a low percentile. And only one of them really reach our radar as a general public.
Well, why do you think that mass shootings are so heavily covered? Because one, there's political bias on them.
Yeah, and then it sells.
There's political bias on it, and it's the number one car accident that we're looking for.
Yeah.
It's absolutely the most interesting thing. Whenever we go to a crowded place, everyone thinks it now, because I'm not even going to use the term that they've brainwashed us. They've just conditioned us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which anyone can do with
which we were in elementary and middle school, and now they are now too. Because my mom works in elementary school, and they're teaching them what they have to do if a shooter shows up to the school, because we've been conditioned by what the norm or the norm that's being pushed on us.
Yeah, which is so ridiculous.
Because when we got fire drills, how many fucking schools are on fire?
But also, how many schools are in America?
Seriously, how many schools get set on fire? And we get a fire drill because we're conditioned to think that there's a possibility. We need to be taught that. And now there's so many school shootings that we need to be conditioned to think that it's a possibility at any school, and then we're taught those lessons.
I'm not against. I'm
not I'm just desensitizing it. But
I'm just saying I'm not against them preparing, but at the same time, you got to prepare that the school is going to be blown up just as much. There's so many factors that come into it that the likelihood that you're actually going to be shot out in public in a public place is relatively
minuscule.
Yeah, relatively low. And it's just to me we should always be prepared.
Yeah.
But I think that's what schools should be in general.
Yeah.
I genuinely think schools should be rules for survival. So they should not only are they teaching mathematics and all of I guess the common core things, but they don't even teach you how to balance a checkbook in fucking school, or whatever the modern thing is, because by the time that listen, by the time the schools go okay, we're going to teach you more things about life. They're going to teach you how to balance a checkbook. Nobody's going to use a checkbook anymore by the time they finally decide to teach it, because they're so far behind.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that I'm not against them teaching about what to do in an active shooter situation, but I think they should also be teaching you about everything in life. They're if your finger does get cut off by a saw, what do you do?
Yeah.
Do you know?
No.
No one knows.
Yeah.
But why don't they teach it? What happens if your friend decides to drink a half a bottle of mouthwash? What do you do?
Yeah.
You have to read the directions. Don't you think these should be things that we should be teaching people just to survive? Now, I'm completely ignorant to the education system. I am. But to me, I feel at least 1 year in school at least should be taught to just survival of existence.
Do you mind? I feel bad cutting you off, but I'm about...
We have this painting up here, and we're talking about drinking
No. It's more that I'm going to piss myself if I continue to sit here.
Wait, you got to pee?
I got to pee.
I beat him. He's got to take a shot.
So bad. So we're going to take a second music break real quick. This is Mike Wing, ETS, JD Wavy, the homie. We're going to play this real quick. I got to pee. I just realized we're about to hit the 2-hour mark. We're going to come back, wrap up these paintings and Instagram questions, and then I feel
How long does the podcast go for?
2 hours, but we're already at the 2-hour mark.
Oh, no. Give the people a little bit more. They'll be happy. It's like a Joe Rogan.
So I got, we're going to do this, and then I'm going to run up, and then I'll be back in momentarily. All right, I feel so bad. All right.
We're back.
We're back, people.
We're back, baby.
I'm so sorry. Like, I was just thinking, like, I was trying to, like, look at all the comments and try to, like, keep in tune with it, because we're edging the 2-hour mark, which is typical, but fuck it. We're going to go with the flow. We're going to enjoy this. What else are we going to do with the weather outside?
What do you mean? What are we going to do with it? We're going to endure it.
What are we going to do? We're not going to fucking...
Well, JB,
we're not going to go dressing.
Listen, we're going to shovel all of the snow into the sun, and then we're going to build a wall.
No!
We're going to build a wall. They're stealing our jobs. The snow is coming in. He's taking all the money from the plow, guys.
Are we really at this point?
Yeah. We're at that point.
We're at this point. All right, so we're gonna skip through Lil Yachty because I think we killed that. You're gonna get yelled at if people see
an empty
beer. Like an empty beer. Like my dad.
You keep putting that.
Your mom's gonna freaking yell. Lord.
I know. My mom literally. Oh, this is my favorite one.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like hanging right above my bed.
Really?
Yeah.
I would love to have one, even though it's like a big request because I'm sure these take a lot of times. I would love to have one because this is like
$100.
good
It's
shit.
yours.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what's fucked? I went to look up online and like all your like stores don't exist anymore.
I know. I'm fucking weird.
I was like, all right, well, I guess I can't request anything anymore.
You can buy used Playboy magazines at my store.
Lit. So why is it your favorite?
It was actually the first 24-hour painting I did, and I let entirely loose on it, and I just kind of let myself have the moment to just enjoy it. And then like it's like this weird thing that happens and there's a reason why I stopped doing these paintings, because like what ends up happening, and like I'm sure anybody can agree with this no matter what they do creatively, you do it too close in succession. You don't take time to learn your mistakes or like what you liked most.
You just get it done. Yeah,
you don't take time to like almost like with your music or something, like sip on it like a fine cognac, where you're like, oh, I really like how this like feels like on my palate, or what, I don't know, alcohol time. But you know what I'm saying. I'm trying to find something that we both like, because we're drinking, for fuck's sake. But like there's like a certain middle road where you start to enjoy all the things that you made in this particular project or whatever. And I did that on the first. By the end of the week, I was making like almost ass like fucking paintings, like, because I was like burnt out of like just trying too hard, because I was like, oh, I know how to paint the shadowing on the nose here, so let me bang that out in literally 30 seconds and not touch it again. But on this one, I took the full 24 hours to like really enjoy each part of it. Not even hone on it, just let myself loose, just like let it happen.
I like this one.
Yeah. And
I do love that the like consistency is a skull. Like, and we'll go through all of them, like and then you have and then you have the hair and everything around it that really like embellishes that person as an individual. Because like again, like, and not to like go back into the way I described your paintings, but like I feel like this everyone is a skeleton underneath, and then you have the individualism that blossoms out of it, that blossoms out of it, and like this hair. And like just overall, like, and same thing with Lil Yachty with the boat and the shark and the water as a whole. It's just that's what happens, and I everyone like, and this is one of my favorites, and it's so funny. Poppy, okay, I'm a big fan of Poppy.
That's awesome.
I will say right now, I'm a big fan. The new album with like the heavy metal.
The heavy metal
good.
At the end with X and everything.
And
the song with Grimes. So fucking dope.
So good.
Dude, and even like, Anthony Fantana was geeking about it. He gave it like a fucking 8.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, I really fuck with this.
She's really good with music, and it's like even this like this painting dates when you did it too, because like this hair style and like her as a whole, like this is like it kind of dates it a little bit.
Yeah, with the plant and the computer.
The plant, but it's so good. And she retweeted it or
no, she liked it. The funniest part was that she literally. So I posted it. I did the same strategy I was to talk to earlier about like young artists. Like, yo, turn on the notifications. So I turn on the notifications. As soon as it said that Poppy tweeted, I literally tweeted this at her. I was like, Poppy, I painted you. Just like, because you want to go as quick as possible. So you want to say something.
Yeah.
But you don't want to make it too long. Be like, I painted you. Check out my website. Here's if you don't want to do all that.
Yeah.
Because it's going to take you too long.
All Poppy fans, if you want to buy,
every second that you waste, you're losing traction. Yeah. So you need to be as quick as possible. So, like, you literally go, Poppy, I painted you. And then you just post it. I did the same thing with all of them. And so I'm waiting because, like, it's not like an egotistical thing. It's just, it's bound to happen.
Yeah, because you're tuning into the notifications after our most recent post.
Not her.
Or all of our fans.
People will like it. So I'm just waiting for the notifications, and I'm waiting. About like 40 seconds go by because it literally happens like wildfire.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it's actually crazy. Like, and I highly recommend, like, if anybody even wants to get Twitter clout, just respond to anybody's tweets that they tweet. Anybody who's big, and you will just get responses because, like, it's just what people do.
Well, one of the things I do with the podcast is I will clip times that we talk about bigger artists and bigger people, and then I will share that on my story and say at whoever and say we would love to have you on the podcast. And so far I have 2 big guests coming up shortly.
Awesome,
just from that small thing, and people don't realize that, like, that small interaction, or just like a bit like imagine like waking up tomorrow and then someone's like talking about you on a podcast. Yeah, like you would just enjoy it just for the fact of the matter. So like I've been doing that recently, and then I've been successful with people reaching out and saying, I would love to be on the podcast. I would love to just have a conversation. And then I feel it's the same thing with this, is especially when you hit it right on the dot. They're just posting, they're looking at it, like they're waiting for notifications, they're waiting for interactions, and like all of a sudden, like, which is crazy that Poppy.
Just to like tie it off, because I feel like I didn't even get to it. She was the first one to like it.
Which is so cool.
Which is the funniest part to me. Because I was like, this thing still doesn't have any likes, and it says like one person liked your post on Instagram. So I just on Twitter. So I looked at it, and the notification, I was like, wait, what the fuck?
It's only Poppy that
I was like, it's only Poppy. I was like,
so cool.
I screen capped it at that time when it was only her like, which is the funniest part.
Yeah, because it just shows.
And I was
it's
like,
not like Poppy and 20 other
you
people.
You never get that, because like what ends up happening is they tweet something, and then like 3 hours later they look at like the most top tweets underneath it, because it has like a ranking system.
You must have hit it right.
And then you can normally get a like by them or something like that, or a reaction. But like she was like the first person to like it, and I was like, that's just fucking weird. It was just cool. And, like, it doesn't mean anything or anything like that. It's not, like... But it was just, like, one of those cool things. I was like, it's one of those cool things that I could just add to my resume.
I'm a big fan of, like I know, like, there's a whole, like, screen right behind her. And, like, I love the whole... Like, I was watching... I was following
it's like
her
a parody of pop culture.
But it's a parody, and then there's, like, underlines and, like all the characters that are involved throughout it, like Charlotte and the plants and everything. There's a lot of, like...
The skeleton. I fucking love that.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like... story behind it, and like it fucked me up for a little bit just because like I enjoyed diving deep into it and wondering like how they all connect, and I dove deep down into that. But like, yeah, I'm a big fan of Poppy, especially the music. Even her earlier music, I was like, man, like this is really good shit. And then like I think there was one project that I wasn't like big into, but her most recent
that was the funniest
really
part about that painting, though, is like the only reason why there's blue on her face and the reason why the keyboard is actually blue is because like my brush accidentally hit blue when I was trying to do like a shade of pink.
Okay.
And I accidentally just put it on there, and I was like, yo, that blue with the pink looks so fucking tight.
Oh, yeah.
And that's literally the only reason why it's blue. And like the same with the keyboard. Next.
Tyler, the Creator.
This one's actually like one of my fucking all-time favorites, right behind Lord, and no one likes it.
I like this.
Thank you, but like I'm not like saying that in like a weird way. I'm just saying.
Wait, was this before or after Flower Boy came out?
This was way after Flower Boy.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, I wasn't too certain.
I actually like. It's not even because it's Tyler that I like it. The only reason why I like it is just because of the color green and orange together.
Yeah.
Like that's like literally the only thing that like really makes me love it. If you saw this painting in person, like it's such a fucking bright orange.
And the contrast just kind of.
And like to be honest, man, even if I just fucking scribbled on a canvas like green and orange, like it would have been fucking cool to me.
Yeah.
But like I get why people don't like it, because it's not as interesting. It's more of like Tyler's like older themes or whatever. Yeah. But I love the way it came out. And it was fun
like
to me.
Instantly I think of Beamer, like when I look at this. Like,
yeah, I fucking loved it. And then like This is the funniest fucking part, and like I actually want to talk about this on the podcast, to be honest. Like the funniest part was somebody talking about like hateful comments like earlier. Somebody commented on this because I tweeted this at Tyler as soon as he tweeted, and it got some decent traction or but somebody said, he's like, why would you tell everyone? Because I said, I'm like, hey Tyler, I painted you. And he goes, in a serious tone, he literally goes, why would you tell everyone that you painted a picture of Tyler the Creator when it's not actually Tyler? It's just a skull wearing a golf hat with a flower in a tree behind him, and you tell us it's Tyler, but there's really no indication. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I gave him a gap tooth. There's only so much you can do with no skin, like, and no ears and anything. And he goes, right. He's like, but that's like me owning a dog and saying that I own a wiener dog, but it's actually just a bunch of dog bones. And I was like, dude, this is getting fucked up. Who the fuck are you? Like, I'm not even, this is like a real thing that fucking happened. I was like, dude, you're taking this way too serious. And he goes, either way, man, it's a good painting. He's like, I just think you need to work on your wording. And I'm like, dude, you're fucking weird, man. You're fucking weird. I was like, it's cool if you don't like the painting. I appreciate haters and for what they're worth, but like, that's weird to say you own a bunch of wiener dogs, but it's actually like owning a bunch of dog bones. I'm like, dude, I don't want to know what you do in your spare time.
This one, correct me if I'm wrong. Brianna Holly.
Brianna, yeah.
Brianna,
I actually don't know the
whatever it is. But like, this was the one that
I'm not gonna lie. I'm just like, well, I don't want her to watch this and be like, that's not how you say my name.
you have a couple drinks, by the way. I think this is the one that I first really knew about because one thing that you had advertised is that she shared it after you posted it. Which, like, go ahead and, like, envelop that.
The funny thing is that, like, okay, so I did this painting 100%. This is a huge painting. It's not even, like, small. This took me, like, so fucking long. And this is...
I tried to clip it, too,
I'm going to backtrack
way,
just a little bit. So, like, I never used to draw or paint women at all, ever. Like, I would never do those things just because, like, I was horrible at doing it. And I just finally decided, like, I don't know... At some point during the talent, I was like, I got to learn how to draw women. Because if I want to become a better artist, I got to learn how to do
everything. Yeah.
So, like I said, with the skull drawings and everything, the skull paintings, I was trying to become a better painter. And one of the best things that, like, and I watched this, like, YouTube video or whatever, always tackle your weaknesses. So, my subject matter was going to be a woman. Because of, like, I'm not good at doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, black and whites are a great way to learn your values.
Okay.
Light and dark. So I was like, okay, I'm going to paint a woman and I'm going to do a black and white picture. And I was going to do it like big. And I was never planning on releasing this at all. Never.
This is really good, by the way.
Thank you. I mean, I only see flaws with it now, but like,
yeah, that's the only thing you're focusing on.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've even become better since I like painted it. But like, the thing is that I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna do this as practice, 100%, because I want to learn my style. I actually wanted to do Tyler the Creator in like this style, of like just one massive painting and maybe black and white or something. Because like, I love the way that Tyler looks, like with his like nose and his like teeth and everything. He's such like an interesting character to paint, and like if you look at like fine photography of him and everything, he looks really dope. But anyway, so I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna do this one. I'm never gonna really like share it or anything. Like I might, whatever. So the thing is that like I tweeted this after like I finally finished it. I was like, I'm done. I'm like, it's good. There's a little bit of shading on the arm that's off, but I was like, I spent enough time on this, and I'm just gonna do it. So I tweeted it, and I was like, because like I had like new followers from the skull paintings, because this was right after I finished the week-long skull painting, because and I just decided to like finish this off, and so I had like a new followers that were interested in my painting, and I was like, hey everyone, I just like I just did this painting of Brianna Holly, so I tagged her, like I put her handle on it.
Yeah, it just
I was like, I did this new painting of Brianna Holly, so that you know who she is, so you can look at her for reference, but. That's who this is, and I just did it as I literally put in the post, like I was like, I did this as like a character study or whatever on just like shading and values or whatever. Sure enough, like I'm fucking like going to bed or whatever, and then all of a sudden like I open up Twitter because I got a notification and she retweeted it, And I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. Like, I wasn't like super like crazy about it. Like I'm like,
Yeah,
that's a cool recognition.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I wasn't expecting it, especially for not like responding to her post, just literally
just doing it for the
just doing it for myself.
And that goes ties.
I was
back
actually
to
looking for her to ignore it. To be honest.
Well, yeah, it ties back to like our conversation where it's like you can't create a meme. Like it just happens that like the audience.
Are you calling this
built
a meme?
It up. Yeah, this is the Brianna Holly meme.
But anyways, then I like she followed me on Twitter, and I think followed me on Instagram or something like that.
That's really cool.
And she DM'd me and was like, "Thank you so much for this," because like she also posted on her like permanent story on artwork on her profile, and she has like 2 million followers or something like that.
No fucking shit.
Yeah, which like everybody like people are like, "How many followers did you get?" And I'm like, dude. Like fucking nobody. Like that's not how it works. Like I'm not looking for that.
Yeah.
I'm like it's just an honor that she recognized the artwork, but she recognizes a lot of people's artwork. She's a good person. That's why I chose her as a subject. She's a really nice person that cares about like her fans and like everything like that. And like if you're gonna honor somebody with a painting and put the time in, you might as well. Even if you're doing it for like a value study, just do it to somebody who's worth the time, who cares and appreciates. So I'm not totally surprised, but like it was obviously a nice gesture that she like gave me. And yeah, I know it was really cool. I was like I DM'd her and I was like, thank you so much, like that means a lot to me as like an aspiring painter. That, like I'm literally still within my first 100 200 hours of like painting period. And I was like that means a lot to me, you know what I mean? It just gives you like an extra boost. And
it pumps you up.
She was like, yeah, no problem. Like, she's like, it was a beautiful piece and whatever. And I was like,
do we have a secret guest that just popped in? Oh!
Mike,
no, come in.
You gotta come in real quick.
Who the fuck? Hey! It's fucking Mike Wing, the legend. The number, you know, you're number one right now. You're number one. Yeah.
I'm coming for your spot, Mike. No, I'm not. Talking about bullying. Nobody wants to hear that. Everyone wants to see Mike Wing pass out.
Hey, Mike Wing. I feel like an asshole. But would you like to sit in for a moment just because like so when you break the seal, when you two chairs, you can bring a second chair over here. I gotta piss. Do you want to interview Brian and just ask him about this painting real quick?
All right, yeah. We need another rant.
No, we don't need another rant. We don't need anything.
Yo, Mike, how do you feel about Kanye? How do you feel about Kanye? He needs to go home to his family.
I miss the old Kanye. I miss the old Kanye. That's it.
Anyway. No, dude, your hat's disappearing. That's so dope. Look down.
Is it?
That's so cool. No, keep it on. That's cool, dude. That's fucking cool.
Okay, what's up, guys? Yeah. All right, so how do I scroll? Oh, we haven't talked about this.
No, we haven't talked about this one.
All right, let's talk about this one.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, who is it?
It's Alexis Ren.
Oh, yeah. I love Alexis Ren.
What else do you want to know?
Is it the same size as the last painting?
You've seen this one.
I know, but I can't remember how big it is. I've seen like all your paintings, bro. I don't remember how big they are.
I mean, it's the same size as the other one, the Brianna Holly one.
Oh, okay. How much time did you spend on this one compared to the other one? Because this one's
This one was way quicker. This was like 2 days.
Really?
Yeah.
You found that the black and white one was harder?
Only harder because I was still learning. I just applied everything that I learned in the past one to this one, and I just decided to do this one in color. And I've been following Alexis like since like she started her career as like a model.
You put me onto her. we were like 18.
Yeah. And like she's cool. I've talked to her a couple of times like on Instagram and everything like back in the day and everything. So like I was like oh, I'll paint her next because I did Brianna Holly, so I'll just do Alexis Ren as the next one. And like I said, still practicing women, especially like the female form, because it's to me far more interesting than males for obvious reasons. But like, but like if you're a painter, you got to keep motivation. You got to keep motivation. So you're like, oh, I'm doing the ass cheek now, so we're good.
Yeah. Basically, you do it well too. Keep it up, man.
Thanks, man.
But JB's back, so I'm gonna let y'all go. Thank you.
I was gonna say, Mike, you were angry likes and you got a few. So
you got a couple angries?
Yo, what happens when I'm done my 6-pack?
Oh, can we get him more beer?
Oh, I got him.
It's okay. I apologize. It's.
I'm out of beer. So whoever
this
said I
is
wasn't
what happens
drinking,
with a drinking podcast is you gotta piss every freaking 40 minutes, and then all of a sudden like you feel like an asshole. You drinking 6-pack? All right, Mom. He did not drink a 6-pack. I mean, he only had like 1 or 2 beers tonight.
No way.
No. So we're gonna skip over to Instagram. We're freaking deep. We're deep in this freaking podcast.
We gotta fucking get this out.
You know what's bullshit? We're gonna fucking lightning round this shit.
What's the cringe?
Lightning round. Okay.
Huh?
Lightning round.
Cringe? Yeah. It's already been done. I got a backup.
We only
cringe.
did one.
I got two. No, it's because I didn't have much to talk to you about, so I brought out two. No, I'm kidding, Mike Wig.
All right, quickly.
No, we don't have to be quickly. We can just chill. All right, well,
quickly.
Just
we need
chill
to go
for a minute.
before I burp again.
Just chill for a minute.
That's cool.
All right, so if you had to name a
Instagram
kid
reveal.
after a car manufacturer, what would it be? This is from Milana.
Wait, this is actually from Milana? I thought it was from somebody else. That's so funny.
I might have fucked that up. I don't know.
No. I thought it was, but who cares? I already know who this is going to be because I premeditated this.
Premeditated. Go ahead.
I would name my kid DeLorean. DeLorean Bean.
DeLorean.
But his middle name was still manufacturing.
DeLorean Manufacturing.
Because you know the real name of the company is DMC.
So where's the C going?
The C is... He's going to have a silent C in front of Bean.
So right now it's going to be Dave Matthews Band is what your kid's going to be.
Yes. Dave Matthews. So DeLorean Bean, that's going to be the name of my kid.
DeLorean Manufacturing Bean.
Yeah, because John DeLorean was the fucking homie. He was way too tall to fit in any of the cars.
What do you mean the homie?
He was the homie. I literally played him in ping pong.
No, fuck.
He was super tall. Easy
Super
to beat.
tall?
Easy to beat.
The next question is, if animals could talk, which would be the rudest? And this is from Electric Moonchild.
Oh, it's McKenna. If animals could talk.
I know who it is. I'm just trying to say their freaking tags. No, that's fine.
No, it's fine.
I didn't spill on my
what
company
are you
laptop.
Red Bull for? You tired, young man? What would be the rudest animal? To be honest, Linda. Which is my cat. My cat is the fucking worst. And when she gets out the door, most cats like meow. They go like meow, meow when they want to go out. Not her. She goes. That's what she does, and nobody believes me. Everybody
This is the podcast.
Yes, everybody thinks she's the best cat. She's the worst. She would be the rudest animal that ever existed. That's what the question was, right? Animals could talk, which would be the rudest? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, it would be Linda. It would be Linda.
It's like what species is it, bro?
Linda.
What happens?
Linda
to
is the species.
Mayonnaise, a question.
What happened to mayonnaise, or what happens?
Mayonnaise.
What happened to mayonnaise?
Who is this from?
Oh, I think it's probably my mom.
Your mom.
Yeah, it's my mom.
What happened to mayonnaise? Is this an animal?
Yeah, I'd probably own it.
Is it a white cat?
No, back in the day, I was gonna own a dog.
Nope.
Yes.
You told your mom. Oh yeah, maybe. But
It was a dog. It was a basset hound. I was gonna own a basset hound named Mayonnaise.
But
And everybody's convinced that I was gonna name my child that, but I've always said that I was gonna name my child Abraham.
DeLorean. DeLorean mayonnaise.
Yeah, no, it's always been a basset hound named Mayonnaise. Always, because I thought that would be a hilarious name to name a basset hound. Mayonnaise.
Why? Why would that be hilarious?
Why is that not hilarious? Imagine going out your back door. Your dog goes out to pee, and then you go, mayonnaise, and then you're that fucking neighbor that's screaming mayonnaise out the back door. Tell me that's not the whitest thing you've ever heard.
Bass hound?
Hound you wanted.
Yeah, basset hound. That's what I said.
What did he say? Bass hound?
Basset hound.
no, that's what he said.
It's a blood nose.
Well, someone's correcting you on what you said.
I didn't know you said it.
It was
okay.
basset hound, like the blood nose. And
Yeah. But like, you got a peanut gallery as.
Yeah. They were called blood nose dogs because they smelled blood trails like when they were hunting.
Oh, they didn't get nosebleeds.
They were bred to
Get nosebleeds.
like have their ears low and whatever. At least that's what they were always called.
We got what does the future hold for Eastwood? Go ahead and sit that in song.
Oh, that's my cousin. I love my cousin. I love cousin.
I love cousin. I love cousin.
Jesus Christ, you guys made me drink too much. I can't even answer these right.
Mike's like loving it from the other side. He's like, I'm on beer deep.
I was loving it more than when you were on here. It was so funny. It's done. It's done, son.
It's so funny because when Mike Wing was here, we're like me and Mike were supposed to perform at a show. Mike obviously didn't perform, and then I performed probably the worst show I've ever performed at because I did not know any of my songs. I think I performed one song with Dill that went okay, and every other song I was like, all right, 4 bars deep. I don't know what words are. I was fucked. I was fucked, dude. You don't understand. I was absolutely blitzed. Yo, we came home, the cat's just chilling on you like you were part of the sofa. You had morphed into the sofa. You were...
Next question, JB.
Mike Wing.
Next question.
Let me talk to Mike Wing.
He's not on the podcast. He had his chance. He passed out. This is my time.
When was the time in life where you felt most liberated? And this is from Has a Girl 13. I had to make sure I pronounced it correctly.
That's a gurgle. It's like Mike Wing does with mouthwash.
Yeah, bro. You have to. You're not doing it right if you don't gurgle.
That's what I told her.
Is it gurgle? I thought it was gargle.
Well, yeah, the sound is like a gurgle, you know?
That's a girl.
Whatever.
It's girl.
When was the time that I felt most liberated?
Gargle.
Honestly, right now, to be honest.
You feel the most liberated right now?
Well, not at this moment, but I'm saying at this section in my life. Like, I feel liberated.
At your age right now and everything.
Yeah. Things are just fucking cool. If I die tomorrow, it's cool. If I don't, even cooler. I'll be here to appreciate it. Don't flick lint.
Yeah, but I don't do it here.
Haven't you ever heard of Flint, Michigan?
Lint Eastwood.
Flick lint.
Lint Eastwood.
Flick lint Flint, Michigan. Do you like bad water? I don't like bad water.
Yo, where's Cruz? Are you excited about your interview? It's so funny. Hey, you know this interview that's been going on for 2 hours and 20 minutes?
No, I Am Joe 1999 is the coolest person ever. They've just been like the biggest supporter of like.
You don't know them personally? You just know them as I Am Joe?
Where are they from? They're from the Middle East somewhere.
Really?
Yeah. I could be wrong. Joe, you know if I'm wrong, then
is this your first interview?
No, this isn't. I did one.
Well, that's what Joe's asking. I don't care.
I did one on TV with Mike Robbins with Mike, and then I did one with Dacia, and I also did one with not in order, but I forget what the other one was. To be honest, who?
Kristen Gouvier.
Oh, Kristen. Yeah, I did one with her too, Kristen Gouvier.
Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Okay, behind the scenes, there's like a cleanup crew coming out.
Mike dropped a pencil.
You dropped the pencil? All right.
Honestly, people aren't even interested in what I say.
Yeah,
so
no one gives a shit. All right, since when did you start painting cool stuff? I mean, cool stuff is kind of...
It's actually almost exactly a year ago today.
Yeah, but was it like actually cool stuff or was it like just painting?
No, it was just painting. It was not cool. Who the fuck did that?
Mike, did you love this video right now?
I loved it the second I started, like an hour ago.
What are you doing? What's going on?
There's a lot
behind the scenes, we got a bunch of people just interacting and pretending like, you know, like there's not a podcast going on.
I've given up. I'm giving up.
What is your favorite tattoo?
Currently,
Do you have this tattooed on you at all?
He does.
Yeah, I do.
Can you explain what the word is?
Oh my god, there's so much clothing I gotta take off to get to it. Oh my god.
Pause.
No, it's not. It doesn't need to pause.
Why? I need
So
to
I
pause.
got the worm, which is what Matt was, and I have that. What's the difference? What's the difference? Get back there. What's the difference? What's the difference?
All right, go ahead, talk about it. I'll be here.
That's not my favorite tattoo.
All right, well,
I mean, like currently, I mean, like I already talked about it earlier, which like it's horrible to show on here. It's the Mac Miller one, but I guess I'll go with my actual favorite because it'll be so much easier to show. Is the bull, which is the Lamborghini logo converted into a skeleton, which I drew. But
which is weird because you never do skeletons.
But Nick Bugetta tattooed it on me.
Hey, shout out Nick.
Shout out Nick. Shout out Nick. No, that's like probably like my favorite because I have like weird thing about my tattoos. I don't know why I feel so self-righteous right now where I'm just like I'm gonna take the floor, but like
it's okay.
So I got my like tattoos that like pretty much like match in comparison of like taking over like each part of my arm, and then I have the lyrics there, and then I'm gonna get. So I have my scythe here, and then I'm gonna get a hammer here. So like, I don't know. I don't really have a favorite tattoo. I just get tattooed when I'm hungover. It's what I do. It keeps you from throwing up. I don't know.
What secrets are birds hiding from us?
Birds dads know Alex Jones, and Alex Jones knows where the Pizzagate pedophiles are coming from.
Alex Jones would like to let you know. Do the frogs are gay?
No. He'll be like, you see those stars up there? Those stars are actually center space. Those stars are where they're watching over us. Trust me, I know. I got messages from George W. Bush, and this is after his presidency. He is telling me right now that the aliens are spying on us. They're texting me. Not even on Apple, because Apple is conspiring with Donald Trump. Donald Trump right now is.
Yo, can we? All right, I love going into stories. All right, so real talk. So I was just at a bar. I think I saw Mike at it, but we were at the bar at AJ's, and I got stuck talking to someone who had a Trump and Mike Pence T-shirt, and I was like, all right. So I already stepped into it, like, all right, they're gonna like force their political views on me.
Okay.
And then they turned around for whatever reason, and it was an Infowars.com shirt.
Makes sense.
And then they're like, hey, I love conspiracy theories. I was like, I got to cut you off right there. I need another drink real quick before we're going to dive deep into this. And my girlfriend didn't know what Infowars was or Alex Jones. So I was like, here, let me show you the clip of how the frogs are gay because the government is making the water like turn people gay and the frogs gay. So I don't know.
All right, I got another question. Do you know who Shane Dawson is?
Absolutely.
Okay. Who is more likely to listen to Infowars? Shane Dawson, Jake Paul, or Nardwar?
Yo, you're fucking me up. Is this the trick question or is it like
No.
real?
Who's more likely?
Jake Paul, I think.
You think so?
Like, or maybe Nardwar. I don't think Shane Dawson.
You think Nardwar?
Nardwar's like. I think Shane Dawson would to just prep for material. So if Shane Dawson was given the opportunity to talk to Alex Jones, he would be more likely. But then naturally, just to be intrigued by it, not because obviously when you listen to something, you're either for it or against it. I feel people that would be naturally just kind of prone
totally
to it.
Shane Dawson, totally. Totally. Yeah, you're totally right. Yeah. But in reality, it's Nardwar. It is. Trust me, I've done my research.
So what secrets are the bird?
I've done my research, and Shane Dawson is watching.
Do you know about the crows being like almost just as intelligent as us?
The band?
No, the crows in general.
The counting crows.
No, regular
super
crows.
Smart.
Crows that
they know how to make a beat.
Crows that don't know how to count.
Crows that don't know how to count. They're just as smart as us.
No, they're pretty fucking smart.
No, not as smart as Jake Paul. Jake Small is like
Jake Small.
Jake Small. When you're as friendly with him as I am, and you call him wobbly face cutie, then
wobbly face. No fucking way. Let's go to the next question. Is Rob still housing all those exotic animals? From Rob. I don't think he realized when he asked a question that we were gonna put his handle up.
We're gonna send.
Where is Rob, by the way? He's like, oh, I'm gonna swing by eventually.
3-hour showers. He's a Greek god.
Is he messaging me right now? Oh no.
Ryan, what does he turn into when he's in the shower?
Oh, what does Rob do? He does. Does he do this?
Yeah, the Greek goddess thing.
The Greek goddess. So
what the fuck is the Greek goddess?
So he stands up like this.
When he showers?
Yeah.
How do you know this?
Because he's told us.
I know everything.
He told you that he poses like a Greek goddess in the shower?
I am Alex Jones.
Wait, so it's funny because
the stars are actually security cameras, and they're watching Rob shower. He is Athena. I know he is. He's the Greek goddess Athena, and I know this.
So is he still housing all those exotic animals?
Yeah, no, he is. Trust me, I know.
He asked for the address.
Yo, he has to ask in form of an Instagram question.
Yeah.
Lower it.
Name a piece of work, art, or move, but it's supposed to say movie, that has deeply inspired you, maybe even changed your life.
No, I was definitely a move.
No way is it move!
No, Alex Jones. No, I'm just kidding. The Clash, 100% The Clash. The bands, The Clash. And everything off of London Calling, but everything else that they've ever done. But
London Calling is their album.
London Calling specifically, yeah, no, totally. When I heard that, and like, well, I mean, I guess if we're gonna trace it back, it was Green Day. But when Billy Joe Armstrong, he was in an interview, he literally said that his biggest influence was the Clash. So I listened to the Clash, and the Clash is 100% what set me on the course of like getting into skateboarding and everything.
Really?
So there's nothing more that has inspired me of just,
than the
like,
Clash.
Rebel and just feel comfort in the fact that you don't fit in.
Which is so funny because if you really think about it, the Clash was however long ago, and then they're having a strong influence, and then you look at your life and look at what you do, and you might be, oh, you have a drink? You might be influencing people the same way. Because I look at you, and then I'm like,
you look at me and say what?
I thought the peanut gallery was a bad thing. No, I just see you, and like it's definitely an inspiration to see you start your own brand, start your own lifestyle, start your own storefront, start your own company. And it's like, fuck, man, people aren't doing that shit. People aren't pushing that limit anymore. And it's like, a lot of people are looking at you. I appreciate it,
but I need to cut you off, and I'm not trying to shut you down.
No, it's okay. Like, talk shit.
No, I'm just saying, like, just because like people aren't doing anything that is like notable doesn't mean people aren't doing anything.
No, I get that.
If you work at fucking BAE or you work at Panera Bread, it doesn't matter. You're doing shit.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
Like, be proud of yourself. Shit's hard, man.
But I mean, like,
I've never got out of bed in the morning, man, and gone like, I am doing this. I am doing this in the face of everything. I'm like, no. Dude, I'm a pathetic piece of shit.
No fucking way that you've not woken up one morning and been like, I'm fucking starting a fucking t-shirt.
No, dude, company. I just do naturally dumb shit.
No fucking way did you go to sleep, stay up till 4 in the morning, stay up 4 in the morning, fucking work on design, and wake up the next morning and go, I'm fucking ready to grind back at this thing.
Everybody does their own cool shit in their own way. Everybody expresses their own way.
No fucking way, dude.
Whether you're singing fucking 3 Days Grace at the top of your lung in your own Nissan Maxima or whatever, like whatever you're doing, man, you're doing your shit and you're doing cool things. Like, I don't believe that notoriety is the only thing that expresses the fact that you're doing cool things. Like, I don't believe that. And like, I'm not trying to shut you down, but the thing is that like people think that like they come up to you and like say that like, and I'm sure you do get this with the party, and I'm sure you can relate. Is that like when people are like, JB, I can't believe you do this, man. You're the fucking man. And you're like, dude, I'm not the fucking man. I'm just a guy who had an idea. Yeah. Like, I'm not anything special. Anybody can do these things. And, like, you know that it's not the pedestal. And the people who put themselves on the pedestal are the people who get carried away with it. Absolutely. And look like douchebags. You know that. Yeah. We're all the same.
You can be proud.
And everybody is awesome in their own special way. And I'm not trying to be, like, overly fucking, like...
Barney.
Yeah. But, like, I'm just saying, like, people, like, do their own...
No offense, but
people do their cool shit, man.
Yeah.
And, like, whether you're fucking listening to your album doing your own shit... or whatever, like whatever inspires you, whatever, and you're in your own zone. I don't think that is open to ridicule of people saying that like,
just hierarchy.
Dude, you work at Panera or you work at Dunkin' Donuts and you're fucking lame.
Yeah, you're down here while I'm doing me.
No, I don't fucking believe in that. So whenever somebody like tells me they're like, because I've had people come up to me and they're like, dude, you own your own company. But like, you know, like I still work this job and like, dude, that's just so fucking cool. I'm like, dude, be proud of what you do. Because like,
yeah, but be proud of what you do.
I am proud, but I want.
Well, then talk about being proud.
But talking about being proud, you end up on a slippery slope to Donald Trump.
Mike Wayne, you're not on the podcast.
But you do. But the thing is like, I think it's more important to extend a hand to like other people and just let them know, like, yo, there's nothing to be ashamed of. The one thing that I'm a matter of fact of is that like don't be ashamed unless you did an actual shitty thing. Working a job at a drive-thru, working a job at a drive-thru is not something to be ashamed of, and I hate that fucking mentality that we have. Being something to be ashamed of is being like a fucking awful person. Yeah. But working a job and doing something is not something to be ashamed of.
People rank people on their career, their pay,
which is something I'm against.
Instead of just ranking people on,
and people can laugh over there about like what I'm saying. Like, I'm just
no
saying,
one's laughing.
No, I know, but like before when I was saying that, I was like everybody's fucking valuable and everybody's fucking cool.
But there's a different way. Like obviously we're like being comical and we're trying to address.
No, I'm not mad at anybody, but I'm just saying like it's.
No, I'm saying it's just people should be judged on their quality.
I'm probably laughing about the comments anyways.
They're probably like you have to address people.
Everybody's probably mad at me about not drinking, right? What is this?
Most burps. Oh, you
Most burps? Wait, are we doing a competition right now?
No, you already set.
Yeah, you already set the record.
Oh!
You probably are setting the record for the longest freaking podcast. Can I get a shirt? You're the screen printing. You know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna have to design a shirt to send to you for you to screen print for yourself.
Yeah, make it.
Fuck, man. Yeah, no. I just mean, like, obviously we're addressing it comically, but, like, I think what happens is, like, yeah, people should be judged on their quality of character instead of their instead of the caliber of the career or the money they make or whatever.
I don't believe in
absolutely
that shit. Like,
yeah.
And just to, like, a quick synopsis.
Shitty people are shitty people.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where
Unless
they're at
you do a
in
bad
life.
thing, I'd have nothing against you.
Yeah.
If you like, to be honest, man, like when I meet most people when they're like, dude, I'm working at like BAE or something like that, and they're like, but like, dude, you did it right, man. You started your own company, you did your own thing, and trust me, people exist like that.
Yeah.
And I know like Mike and Rob have like seen this. You go, no, dude, trust me, this comes with its own hardships that are far worse than anything that you're experiencing, or if not on the same level.
Yeah. Same level, but
life
different.
is hard,
Yeah.
just in general, and nobody has it easy.
People always see the freaking grass is greener on the other side, no matter what, because they're like, oh, my job sucks, your job can't suck because mine sucks way more, and it's like,
but
no.
That comes down to the social media thing that we're saying, that like everybody likes to put on, like, so like if I'm having a headache or something, I like to look at you out in public at, like if I'm going grocery shopping and I'm like, I don't want to do this because I have a migraine.
Yeah.
If I look at you in public, I'm like, look at that guy. He doesn't have a headache. He doesn't have anything to worry about. He doesn't have, like, we always do this shit.
Yeah.
We always do this and look at like the easier way of like somebody else, but like nobody has that. We're all fucking struggling. Even the top of the top, we're all
no matter what, because like I have my career, and then I'm like, and the people complain to me about like working fast food or working like pizza delivery or whatever, and you're like, oh, my life sucks. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, my life sucks, and then but then it ties back to the thing where it's like, it's all about perspective. Like my migraines are from a different source. Your migraines are from a different source. It doesn't mean your migraines don't exist or you don't have worse than mine or better than mine.
Exactly.
It's all about perspective. You're always going to think that your problems are the worst, and you're always going to bring it to that level where you're like, I have it worse off than you, to make yourself feel better that like, because if this person can handle it.
Because we're constantly tied into the idea that there's something that can make it better, and even if comparing ourselves, we think that like eventually we can achieve that.
Yeah.
That's why when we look at people on Instagram with millions of followers, and whenever we go, their life is so awesome, it's full of no
easy,
pain, it's so anything, because we're looking for an opportunity to the fact that we can potentially.
Ours is worse, yeah. Do you agree that one of the best things of skating is being a kid and making new friends? Well, I mean, we already talked about this. But,
do you think one of the best things? No, I have to answer this because it's Zach Galvin. I love this dude. Do you agree that one of the best things of skating is being a kid and making new friends and love of skateboarding?
Dave, you want to ask a question?
No, it's 100% true. Skateboarding
Feel free to ask us a question.
Skateboarding is by far the number one thing that has ever happened to me that has been important. And all of my friends are super important, but like skateboarding has come from all of them. I wouldn't even know, like, even the people who don't skate in my life if it wasn't for skateboarding. Because we were on the fringe, we picked up and met every single person who was on the fringe too. People who didn't fit in a community that was in our school and everything. That all worked into that level just from being interested in skateboarding and just finding like a home that existed in high school and everything. It all came from that. If we have a question,
we got a question from Peanut Gallery. Come on. No. Come on the forefront.
Come on the forefront and sit on my lap.
Just ask. Just ask and just leave. No, I'm kidding. Feel free to ask us a question. We got people. We got people here. Obviously, like, you want to ask a question? Come on.
You're actually gonna sit on my lap. Holy shit.
This is Paul Blart, guys, here.
Paul Blart?
Yeah. No, you're not Paul Blart. Just
I gotta.
Yo, can we get a name tag, Paul Blart?
No, I got a question.
Jamie, look that shit up.
Jamie?
Because
Joe Rogan, you don't want.
I know Joe Rogan, but I'm JB, so you can't say anything remotely close to my name, or I'm gonna get offended.
Sorry, you're gonna get offended. You social
justice
warrior.
Whoa. Ask your question, Dave.
So, you were talking about skating earlier.
What?
And I was trying to remember the skater that was either signed to Death Wish or founded Death Wish, but his name is Antoine, and I forget the last
Antoine Dixon.
name. Yeah.
What about him?
I just think that when it came to like the early skating, or before it became like a whole like trendy thing. Before like, you know, obviously Tony Hawk made
Roy Purdy.
Yeah, before Tony Hawk made a fucking franchise out of it. That shit, if you see it on YouTube right now, it was shot on like a vintage cam and shit, and I felt like that is lost on skating right now. I feel
like heritage or something like that.
No, yeah, but I feel like skating or skateboarding in a whole has become so, I guess,
commercialized. Yeah,
but like it's almost like there's so much skaters out there with potential that
the number one thing that I'm pissed off in skateboarding, if that's what you want to talk about, because I think that's like kind of like what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Like again, you're talking about like the things that have changed like towards like skateboarding and like the attitude towards it. The thing is that like I'll be the first one to admit that like all skateboarders have become like jocks, 100%.
100%, yeah.
They become like this like in like I'm included in that. Of like excluding people that aren't like
yeah,
they're not part of the system.
You can't do this, then you're not skateboarding.
But this like comes down to like the whole idea of like even like things like communism and everything, like of like you think that you have the best idea until you're in power, and then you realize all the beauties of power.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like that's what happened with skateboarding. It was the outlaw fucking because like in like San Francisco, Jesus Christ.
I was just trying to figure out what's. No, I'm kidding.
San Francisco, like where it was illegal to even skate on the sidewalk in like I think like the 80s or whatever. It was like literally illegal. There's like videos on YouTube of like people getting arrested and whatever. When you look at like things like that and you go like this is like the outlaw misfit thing to do. Nobody thought it was cool.
Yeah.
And people still did it anyways.
Yeah.
And it was the underdog thing. And now it's to the point where like the X Games and now like what is it going in the Olympics?
It's been praised.
I don't even
absolutely.
fucking know what's going on.
And then I'm gonna fucking totally butcher this, but the dude who was in Superbad,
Tony Hawk, yeah.
Who's in Superbad?
I'm just kidding.
Fucking Jonah Hill just had his movie come out.
Apparently
revolving
it's really
around
good.
revolving around 90s. Yeah, mid-90s, that's what it is. And like it's just nostalgic of that like era, but like it's obvious because
but
I feel like when you're nostalgic is because it's obviously changed since then.
But the thing is that like even the thing that is most protected to me, which is skateboarding and creativity and stuff, is not it's not like it doesn't exist out of a vacuum of what human condition is. Human condition will butcher every single thing that is great. It naturally exists.
Yeah.
And I'm 100% on the side of that. That like if human beings are like, oh, that's like the weird thing to do, then eventually 10 years, 20 years, whatever it takes, eventually will become the mainstream. It's the same thing with happened with communism and like everything that like naturally exists. Like it sucks, but I feel like the things that only like exist in bipartisan is the things that everybody agrees and disagrees on. It's like it can't be like the rebel force. It has to be like split 50-50. That's entirely my own thought, but I think like humans have to have that conflict of like, you're wrong,
you have to drink.
I'm right, I'll drink. They have to go like the thing of like, I'm wrong, you're right. There has to be like that split, because if not, if the majority agrees on it eventually, then people get pissed.
Yeah.
People think it becomes more powerful. People are opposition towards power, always.
Absolutely. So if something starts raising in popularity, they like to take like the underdog and then bring it to that popularity and then get pissed.
Yeah, I love the underdog mentality, and like
absolutely.
The thing is that like
that's why people hate on the most popular sports teams or the most popular brands or the most popular anything. They were the underdogs at one point too, fighting against all the commercialized brands.
I'm gonna bring some politics into this, and like the thing is like I don't really give a fuck what people think like in general, but like I voted for Bernie Sanders. Like I wrote his name in on the ballot like during the last election and like 100% it was because Bernie Sanders gave a shit card. He was dealt a shit hand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like against like Hillary Clinton and like Donald Trump and everything. Even Donald Trump went on the record of saying, well, like, I think Bernie would win.
Yeah, yeah.
And so the Clash part of me, the Joe Strummer side, the lead singer of the Clash, came out of me and would just like, when I was in the booth, I was like, fucking Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Fuck that. You know what I mean? Like, fuck all of that politics shit. I was like, I'm voting for what I believe in. Because, like, what I grew up doing. I was like, and the thing is like, even today, like, I still don't agree with everything Bernie said.
Mm-hmm.
It was the thing that was like, Bernie related to me.
Yeah.
I related to Bernie in the aspect of, like, you know, being the punk, being the guy who opposed the power. And I love that.
Yeah.
Hillary didn't represent that to me, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just like one of those things that, like, it's who I am ingrained as a person. It's just like, I'm the punk opposition. That's what I love, and that's what I'll always, like, end up leaning towards. Whether it's music, the people who are dealt with shit hand in the music industry, or skateboarding, or art, it's always going to be the people who are fighting a fight. I'm looking for that. I'm looking for that person that is the quietest.
Yeah, you always want to, like, I mean, go back to the Mighty Ducks movies. You know what I mean? You're rooting for them.
I just want to say real quick, just like when I mean the quietest, I mean like the loudest, but by the general whole is looked at as the quietest.
Yeah.
I just want to make that clear
because
like people can like misconstrue that.
Yeah. It's not the quietest. It's the people that, like,
who are trying to be
like
the loudest.
It's like the Misfits. Yeah, like they're freaking, well, not the Misfits the band, but just like in
it's
general,
the
like they're
energy.
like, hey, like, this is not how the system should be.
And that's exactly why I love like your shows and everything, because like you are looking at it as like, dude, going to these bars is fucking stupid. Like for our nights out, I want to give people the opportunity to go like really in, and like have this opportunity to have this spot.
Well, I remember at like the first show you guys were
Humans
you
love
were
opposition.
at, you were fucking standing on top of a table and chairs, fucking excited just to be with your fucking people, and like that's what people we need. That's what we need. We need a place for all of us to come together, and people don't realize that there's so much unity in New Hampshire because people are too busy complaining about.
That's exactly what I was telling you.
It's like fuck, like yeah, people are gonna complain about snow, but like there's so many people that complained about the snow that are like, I wish I lived in fucking California. You know what California's doing right now with all the wildfires? And then like and the air fucking quality. New Hampshire's not that fucking bad. Enjoy what the fuck you're at, and I think the only way you can enjoy what you naturally have and what you've been built into, just being a New Hampshire citizen and resident for years and years and years, is to leave. Experience what other people are experiencing, and whether it's a different weather climate, and like different situations where the wildfires, the earthquakes, the like shitty weather, you need to go out, experience how bad other people have it, and realize first that there's a nostalgic aspect to where you're from, and second off that where you're from isn't that fucking bad. It's just fucking snow. Yeah, snow fucking sucks, but there's people in Florida that are complaining about their winter too because it's 50 degrees outside.
The grass is always greener, sure.
Always.
But don't forget that the reason why we can all agree on the grass is always greener statement is because humans always naturally push for better. Always. That's the thing that makes us exist.
Well, that's why we've
that's why you exist.
Progressed. That's why we've progressed so much with technology. It's like you always look for what can be better. How can something be done easier, better?
So that's why dial-up doesn't exist anymore. If people tell me they're like, "Oh, this would be better if I got this," and I'm like, I don't tell them like, "Oh, no, you don't understand. This thing will always be the same." I'm like, "Well, try it.
Do it.
Try it." Because chances are you're wrong. Because you're always going to find discomfort wherever you are, but that discomfort will make you try harder.
To get rid of that discomfort.
Yeah. And that's what we all exist under. I mean, that's why the Obama change thing works so well, is because we're all looking for that difference.
Just looking for at least the word change in our conversation. Yeah.
I mean, life is miserable. We all know that.
Yeah. It doesn't matter who's in office. It doesn't matter.
Life is beautiful and miserable.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely.
Yin and yang.
Absolutely. Fuck, man.
We got one more Instagram.
There's no more Instagram questions. That was good. Fuck, man. We're almost at the 3-hour mark. It's almost 11 o'clock. We're fucked. Because like if we want to hang out, it's 11.
I'm trying to be it.
So what I'll do is so you can go piss like a racehorse right now. But I beat you. Is what we have to talk about.
So you gotta take a shot.
I gotta take a shot. So give me that brandy.
That's so funny because you really think that it would be because if you really want to garner
votes, because
the loser should take the shot.
Do you want to take a shot with me?
Give me a half shot, man. I've drank. Do you know how many beers I've fucking drank here? Do you see this shit? Like
that's 8, bro.
Yeah, and what, in like 2 hours?
Yeah, but I'm drinking liquor. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, people don't realize.
I've been working on this for the past hour.
Realize. All right, it doesn't look like a fucking much, but like, I've like drank 2-3 handles just doing this fucking podcast.
Fucking pour it. I'll
let's
fucking puke
go.
and fucking pee.
No. We'll do a half.
I'll fucking puke and pee. We call
that.
that.
No. It's fine.
pukey.
It's fine. It's fine. We won't talk shit. Like, it's just. I mean, your mom might talk shit, and my dad. Your mom.
There we go. Now we're even.
No. I'm going all the way.
We're even.
I'm going all the way. Fuck you.
We're even. All right, fine then. I just took.
So if anything, your mom's gonna talk shit. My dad's gonna talk shit. I don't care. You do whatever you want.
Dick out on live.
No, don't whip your dick out on live. Here.
I'm gonna get you banned from Facebook.
Let's do this
I'll be like, this shit
shot.
will never be seen.
Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. Pitts, I'll make an announcement.
That's
real
fucking
quick.
candy. What the fuck?
It's so good.
Mike's like fucking like he's like, dude, you're so fucked up.
So feel free to go piss. I'm gonna outro out the show. I'm gonna talk about the new announcements.
Without
thank you
me?
for being on. You said you had to piss. Do you want to piss or do you not want to piss?
Talk about your new announcements. I'm gonna comment on them.
Well, I was gonna like pretend to outro out.
Bullshit.
Like, oh my.